Welcome to the 133rd episode of the Nerdom and Other Nonsense Anime Podcast. Today we are going to break down episodes that aired in week 6 of the spring 2020 season. That means we're halfway through the season, and we'll be discussing any mid-season cuts at the end of the episode. As always, we include timestamps in the description of the YouTube video and podcast feed if you only want to hear about one or two specific shows, since everything will be spoiled. My name is Leo, and there's a naked cat girl inside of me. Ah! Get out! Get out! Get out! She's pooping! No! I'm not your litter box! Also with me are these two laughing fools, Bcom and Cat.
Hey. That is ingenious. I see why you were laughing maniacally. That's pretty good.
Thank you for devoting yourself
As he
to
was
the part.
writing that, Cat's like, why are you laughing? He's like, you don't know what I'm writing.
Yeah, I'm just like, you're weird. I'm like, Bcom, are you okay? Do you need help?
Wait, see, Cat, I'm crafting the joke in which Leo is being pooped in by a cat girl.
I see. Very intellectual of you.
Yeah, exactly. It's my best work. Oh, man.
All right,
All right.
Let's give me some nonsense, guys.
Nonsense. Okay, I'll start, if you guys don't mind. I watched yet another old anime. It's called Paradise Kiss from 2005.
Is there any kissing?
Oh, there's a lot of kissing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an anime about this girl Yukari who sort of just doesn't know what she wants to do with herself in high school, and like her mom's like, you need to apply to college, and she's like, I just like really don't care about college. I don't care about school, and she doesn't know what she wants to do with herself, and she feels just kind of lost. And then she bumps into this like group of people who are basically like fashion designers, like clothes makers, who are very like countercultural, and they're headed by this guy named George, and George is super fucking hot. I don't know how else to describe George besides like super fucking hot.
Okay.
And she becomes interested in fashion. She decides they offer to like make her their model basically, and like they'll like create dresses for her and like have her like, you know, perform in like competitions and stuff and get her other model work basically through their connections. But like through all that, she also builds this relationship with George, and becomes friends with obviously like the other people who are in his like little like cabal of fashionistas. And it's just really good because all of the characters are really well written. The romance is like really interesting to follow for like the main couple and then like also like side couples, because like it just feels very authentic. People have like emotional needs that don't get met, and then they like tell them about it, and they don't just like spend like 3 seasons like waiting to like for something to change. They like say like you need to change this about yourself now, or else I'm gonna like up and leave you. And some people are not like willing to change at first, you know. It's like
shit.
Yeah, it's like very complex is what I would say is in the way it's written.
I'm trying to remember if this is the anime I'm thinking of, where there's a character who carries around placebo pills that she takes to handle her depression. Is that the same anime?
I don't think so. I don't remember that anyway. I don't think that's this one. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot like the anime Nana in terms of style as well, and just it's like a very adult type of anime. It's a josei, like, or based on a josei manga, so you know, aimed towards like older girls and therefore like infinitely more interesting to me. And yeah, I would just highly recommend it. The style is like really cool. It takes like maybe a little bit of getting used to at the beginning because they just like throw you right into it, but it's just like it's such an interesting and different looking style that like I get won over by it like pretty quickly. And yeah, it's just like a really tightly written story, like 12 episodes, like everything feels like it needs to be there and is like building towards like the climax, and it tells like a really good story in those 12 episodes. So yeah.
Okay. I think it actually is the same anime that I'm thinking of, and I think I read the manga way long ago, like a fuck ton of years ago. And there's a character in it called Mawako, who you find out at one point it takes like sugar pills for her depression.
Oh,
like
okay. Maybe she does do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought it's just stuck with me all these years because it's the most interesting. I was like, whoa, that's odd.
Milako is like she's definitely like a weirdo. She's very cute. She's very sweet. She's also very needy towards her boyfriend, which is like a source of tension over the course of the show. But I really like her a lot. I don't remember if they did the pill thing in the anime. They might have, and I just forgot it because I watched this a few weeks ago. But yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's one of the only depictions of depression that I've really ever seen in a manga or anime. So I remember being like, "Whoa, that's weird. That's so interesting."
I mean, there definitely are some like Welcome to the NHK, which is more like hikikomori depression like specific. But like, yeah, there's definitely some depression in anime. Let me tell you, like it shows up quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
But this is a good one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's both serious and fluffy at the same time. Kind of like
Yes.
Fruits Basket in a way too. Although I think Fruits Basket is more fluffy.
Yeah, Fruits Basket is definitely like more like lighthearted in general than Paradise Kiss, but Paradise Kiss definitely has its moments where it's like, oh man, that's really moving. Maybe because it is darker, it does feel like even more moving at times. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
It also has an amazing ED by Franz Ferdinand, like Do You Want To, which is fucking awesome. It's so good.
Okay.
How about you guys?
Go ahead, Kat.
So I have plans next week to restart my ill-fated Animal Crossing game, which
I thought you were going to say social life.
So I tried to make an Animal Crossing game, and I guess I picked the Southern Hemisphere, and I didn't realize that I had done that. And so my fucking world thinks it's January and like freezing or something in there.
Yeah.
And it's snowing, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I couldn't figure out how to fix it and delete the game and restart it. So one of my friends who's super into Animal Crossing finally intervened and was like, no, you're coming over to my house on Tuesday, and I'm gonna like restart your game and help you and all of this shit. So I guess I'll see what happens.
How much progress had you made in your game? Like, how much had you played it before you decided
it was just a few days where I'd be like, you should go out fishing. And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd be fishing and I'd be like, what the fuck? It's snowing. Why is it snowing? And it'd be really frustrating. So, and I looked up I was like, how do I fix it? What do I do? And I'm so useless at video games. Oh, man.
That should be a segment. Kat tries to video game.
My friend got so tired of hearing me tell her about my struggle of like, well, I've looked up this article and it said to try this, and I tried it and it didn't work and I don't know what to do. She's finally like, just fucking come over to my house. God damn it.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you have an Animal Crossing guru who you can go to guide you along your way.
Yes. So
what are you playing it on?
Switch.
The Switch.
Yeah, it's only on this. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Should be fun.
I started playing very briefly Phantasy Star Online 2 because it's free on the Xbox and like Japanese game. You know, I got to check it out. And there is just so much shit in that game. It is absolutely overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
So like Kat would have absolutely no idea if she tried to play this game. What the fuck is going on? Like I played like 3 hours and I spent a good hour and maybe a little bit more just Googling stuff. There's like at one point where I'm like, how do I use this goddamn lottery ticket? And boy, was I not the only one Googling that one. So like finally figured that out. And then like stupid stuff like, I was like, I know I can dodge in this game. How do I fucking dodge? Like I just have to fucking look it up because the game takes 2.5 hours to tell you how to finally dodge. And then it started getting into like your abilities and your blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fucking this. And just, I have all these items. I don't know what to keep, what to put in storage, what to sell. It's just, god damn.
It sounds like a mess. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. And it's like a game where like, you can tell like they've just been gradually keep updating it. And like, it's just to this point where there's just so much different shit to do. Like I would hate to throw brand new people into like Destiny right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it would be overwhelming to them. But anyways, I still want to play an RPG. So Final Fantasy IX was on the Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
And I played this like when it first came out, which was forever ago, and like I remembered the characters, but I don't remember anything about the storyline. So that's been pretty fun. I've only put like 2 hours into it, but it's been pretty fun so far. I may have screwed up. I think I got farther than I meant to be, or something weird's going on, because right now everything I face is they kill me in one hit and I kill them in one hit. So like
what?
Yeah, so no matter what fight I go into, if there's 3 enemies, 3 of my people are dead by the end of it. If there's 2 enemies, 2 of my people are dead by the end of it. I don't know. I think I need to backtrack and like just like grind a little bit, or just like watch somebody else's playthrough, because this is still the very beginning of the game. I don't know what I did.
Or maybe there's some like equipment you can put on or buy or something. I don't know.
I somehow just accidentally missed something. I don't know.
Interesting.
But it's been pretty fun. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. I was like, all right, this is not, I'm in the wrong spot. I somehow got too far into the story and I shouldn't be here right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, keep me updated if you keep going with that, because like I played the first few hours of Final Fantasy IX like 2 or 3 years ago, and then just like got sidetracked and never went back to it. And I've always been wondering if I should go back. It's a lot of people's favorite. Like
it's got the card game in it too, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Though I only like 80% understand how to play the game. There's like 20% that I'm just like, I don't know why this thing keeps happening whenever I do this. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep you updated. I do plan on keep playing it once I figure out what the fuck's wrong with it right now. But that is it. Anime.
Awesome.
All right. Mid-season reviews. So
Honestly, I feel like, just to make a quick comment before we move on.
Sure.
I feel like those games are their own kind of niche. Like the games that are so hard that they're almost impossible, like Dark Souls or whatever.
I was going to say, you're thinking like Dark Souls, and then there's a couple other ones out there.
Well, like all the Front Software games, like Bloodborne and Sekiro.
It sounds like this is kind of like that, right? Or is it hard in a different way?
No,
probably hard in a different way.
Yeah, hard in a different way. So, and Final Fantasy has its own cult following for so long, you know.
I've heard about Final Fantasy games like for fucking ever.
Yeah.
So I am aware. I like their little costumes. That's all I can say about that series.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
All right.
I would say there is some similarity, just to like add on to that, in that like in Dark Souls specifically, like if you're having trouble with something, you can go grind enemies for a really long time, become really overpowered, and then go and fight the thing that you were having trouble with and probably beat it.
That's just a regular RPG element.
Yeah, I mean, but like some RPGs are less like that. It depends. Like you don't. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake, there's not much grinding you can do like immediately. Like, so it depends on the RPG, I guess. But
just recently redid Diablo 3. Yeah, there was no point I just had it on. No, I put it on hard halfway through. I had to bump it up to hard halfway through because I was having too easy of a time, and I beat the entire campaign without dying once.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's just like, some games, like, they used to build in that grind because they're like, people expect to grind. Like, that's part of the RPG thing. And now they try to make it more of a smooth curve upwards.
And then for in-game content now, I can just do these events, which are kind of a more interesting way to grind. And just, get better gear and constantly keep bumping up the hardcore, because I think hardcore mode has 15 levels to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Am I on hardcore 3? I think hardcore 3, and I can easily go to the next one probably. Probably need to, but I don't know. I'm probably just going to get stuck on Final Fantasy 9 and probably not play Diablo again until Diablo 4 comes out.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, let's talk about anime. So we got episode 6 of Wave Listen to Me. And so this one starts out with, like, before she decided if she's going to quit working at the restaurant, Minare...
Pretty funny. Funny.
She calls up Mato, right? First thing in the episode, and she's like, so what's my salary again for, like, 4 20-minute appearances every month?
This is right after the end of the last episode where she's like, she's going to quit and focus on
the radio show
job. Yeah.
She like hears his response, which we don't hear, and then she like hangs up and sits back down at the table with Chuya, and she's like, "Of course I'm not quitting the cafe job. What are you guys thinking about?" Because her salary is nothing to write home about. So at the radio show anyway.
I laughed so fucking hard when that part came up. She's just like, "Well, I think I'm gonna quit," and then she calls him, and she's just like, "Well, maybe not. Of course I wouldn't do that. What do you mean?" I'm just like.
She's pretty fickle. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
And there was also that thing when she was leaving where she sees like Makie and Chuya together again, and she's like, "I'm jealous of them, but also I have no right to be jealous of them because like I've been putting off all of his advances is like this whole time." So
yeah, she's really fair. Like she's very like, well, but I feel this way, but it's not fair of me to feel that way. Like I like her honesty in that way.
She knows she only has herself to blame. Yeah.
Yeah. So she tries to call up Mato to ask about the next broadcast, but accidentally calls her dad instead. And her dad is several beers in, hanging out on a sidewalk outside of a pachinko parlor where he just wasted away $400 fucking dollars, and he's trying to think of an excuse to go home and tell his wife,
who hates him apparently, because later in the episode she talks to her mom and she's like, "Don't turn out like him." And I'm just like, God damn.
But he heard Minari's radio show, right? And she's like, "Oh, you were pretty great. You can become the person that everybody laughs at. It'll be great." But he also asks her, like, "But what happened to that, like, apprenticeship you had with, like, an acupuncturist?" And Minari is like, "Oh, God, I fucking told him that as a white lie so I could move to Hokkaido." He still believes it. So anyway, they have a decent relationship, even though her dad's kind of crazy. She then tries to call Mato again and accidentally calls Chuya. Like, literally, how bad do you have to be with your phone for this to happen?
She blames the phone, too. She's like, "What's wrong with my fucking phone?"
And Chuya has brought Makie home with him, only to find that his sister and his sister's son are there. Like his sister's husband went to a hostess club, and it's the kind where you can touch the girls, and she's very upset about that, and refuses to stay at home for a while. So she's going to stay with Chuya.
Yeah, but then again, look at his sister, and you go, "I see why he did it."
I mean, she isn't very attractive, I'll say that. But, you know, she's a good person.
She is a good person.
You don't know if he's hot or not. Like, you don't know if he has any right to expect that, you know. That's funny.
Fair. And then, like, Makie opens up about herself with Chuya's sister because they're, like, both sleeping in the same room that night or whatever.
I'm so glad we got to the bottom of this. It's been driving me nuts since she showed up.
Yes. I was like, what twisted, convoluted bullshit is this? I was excited to see this.
It's really twisted. Like, so basically, after her parents died, her brother, like, kind of went nuts and became extremely overprotective of her. And, like, literally kept her in isolation, and she compares it to this story of Kaspar Hauser, who was this German kid in, like, the early 1800s who claimed to have been raised, like, for most of his life in, like, a small, dark cell where somebody would just bring him a meal every day, and sometimes they would give him water that tasted bitter, and he would drink that, and he would wake up, and his, like, pillows and sheets would have been changed while he was like knocked out. Like that's the story anyway. So Makie was sort of like kept like this. I don't know how similar, but that's like what she says. Like she was kept isolated, couldn't use the phone or go to college. But like when she heard about this car accident, she's like, "Oh, it's my opportunity to fucking get out." And so she knew if she asked the people at the restaurant if she could work there, they couldn't reject her because like the owner was responsible for the car crash. And so she's been working there basically to like figure out what she wants in life and like choose.
She sees a way out, basically. She's using this as a way out.
Yes.
A way to escape. Which it kind of validates what I thought of, oh no, this lady's doing it for her own reasons. She's got her own thing going on. Mm-hmm. But you also feel some sympathy for her because this is a terrible situation.
Yeah. Like, it's probably better for everybody involved that she did this. Like, yeah. And yeah, Chuya's sister's like, so is what you want to be like the wife of a curry restaurant owner? And she kind of goes silent, and like Chuya is like listening in the next room. He's like, man, I really love it when my sister gets to the bottom of things like this. Like, it's really useful sometimes, like when she's really blunt, because he kind of wants to know how Makie feels about that as well. But they don't find out that like we're just then. So there's weird sequence after that in the middle of the episode that I think was Mato's dream, where he's in an airport and a woman who looks a lot like Minare is leaving and is apparently going to get into an accident that kills her. And I think that's probably that comedian he keeps bringing up, like Cecil Kome, I'm assuming. Like, it seemed like this was his dream. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but like it seems like it's him. I don't know. Like, did you guys have any take on that scene? Do you even remember that like short scene? It's very short.
I remember it, and I remember being confused because I wasn't sure exactly what was going on.
Yeah, so that was my take on it, was that we were seeing like Mato's dream in the middle of all this. Because that was the only thing that made sense to me anyway.
It was either that or his memory, and I couldn't figure out how it would be his memory. Unless,
Well, if he was maybe he saw this girl off at the airport, and then they got into this big accident. And maybe he's trying to like recapture his relationship with her, with Minare, through this radio show. I don't know. That's like my guess.
I did think the same thing as you. I was like, is that comedian he keeps bringing up?
Yeah. So that's my guess anyway. Hopefully they'll clear that up, because that was a little bit unclear. And yeah, like Kat said, Minare calls her mom, who's like this short lady with black hair. Like, doesn't look like Minare at all. To complain about... She complains about like how their family sent like this huge ass fucking salmon.
Okay, so she complains about this salmon. Does she have any idea how much fucking money salmon costs?
Yeah, but what is she gonna do with it if she can't keep it in her freezer?
She can figure out a way to fit it in her fucking freezer. She should be grateful. Do you know how much money it is to buy half a side of a salmon?
Have you seen a Japanese freezer? They're tiny. You can't fit it in there.
I'm just saying, that's a lot
expensive.
of fish.
Yeah.
She can find a way to use it and not be annoyed.
But maybe they shouldn't send like 4 at once, is the thing.
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, I wish you sent like mutton or something like you sent last year, like she says. Because that fits in her freezer better.
It's like 2 years ago is when they sent the button.
Yeah. And her mom tells her, like, don't take seriously what your dad said about being the person everybody laughs at. You need to be somebody that lives a life worthy of respect. So they have very different ideas.
They have very different ideas about the world, yeah. It's kind of crazy.
So after turning down Chiyo's ideas for a new radio show, which were apparently all bad, Minare texts Mato, because, like, the other thing that their dad sent was this old radio, which Mato identifies as a Sky Sensor 5900, which is apparently a pretty nice, like, over-the-air radio. And she's, like, not interested in keeping it at all. She's like, I hope I can just sell this for, like, $10,000 or something.
I'm totally on board with that idea. That's what I do.
I mean, if you can really get that for it, you know.
I wanted her to turn it on. I wanted to hear what was, like, so good about it. Like, if it was actually, like, a really good radio.
Yeah, did anyone else feel like Minare was being really kind of mean, dismissing Chuya's ideas so quickly? Because he actually put a lot of work into it, and she's just like, and no, fuck this.
She wasn't just and no, she's like, I regret even asking you.
I know, it's like, oh man, but he actually like spent time on it.
Yeah, man, when you say, like, I didn't think about that at the time because it just went by quickly, but he really did like pour his heart and soul into it. He was like laboring over it and thinking hard. He must feel so bad.
Like, imagine if your friend is like, I really need help with this, like it's serious. You go home, you spend like an hour or more thinking about this for this person, like you work hard, you give it to them, they're like, well, I shouldn't have even asked you, this is trash. Like you'd be so upset.
I would
and he just takes it in stride. I'm like, god damn.
Since I would be like, oh, I'm never helping you again.
I know. He's just like, well, okay. And I'm just like, stand up for yourself. I don't know. It's interesting.
So he has to get rid of this like goddamn salmon. So she goes around to her neighbors. I like how there's like one girl. She's like a college girl who she's like basically never seen, and she knocks on their door.
Her old neighbors, because she doesn't live there anymore.
True, her old neighbors, her former neighbors, and so she hangs like a fucking fish on this girl's like doorknob with a sign that's just like, "This is for you." And as like,
it's like a curse.
As an Italian American, I'm like, oh god, this is bad. You shouldn't do this, especially if you put it in a newspaper. Like, that's not a good sign.
Oh man.
Also, like that fucking fish is gonna just hang out in the sun. Like, what the fuck?
If
Like,
I came
who knows when she's
home
coming home?
and there was a fish hanging on my door, I'd be like, "Who cursed me?"
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Oh
I
my
don't
god.
know. It's interesting.
And then she also spots the guy who's helped her in the past, Mr. Oki, and makes him accept one of these fish, even though he appears pretty suspicious. And like Chuyu's like, that guy what is going on with him? And Minari then goes on this long rant, wondering why he didn't like immediately recognize her when she went to give him the fish, even though they've spent like all this time together, and how she thinks she looks pretty good. She thinks she looks like a cheap version of Japanese model like Mireille Kiritani, who I posted a picture of below, by the way, who is very cute.
Yep.
And this is like, that's where Minari says it again, which like this time I wasn't as gracious about it, where she says like, he must be gay. And I'm like, man, all right, every guy who doesn't like you think is gay. That's pretty fucked up, Minari. Like, what's going on here? You have some biases here, and I'm not okay with.
I think she just has some like confidence issues. She's a little overconfident.
But I also just think like she has like a thing with gay people as well. Like, I don't think she really likes gay people.
Yeah, she might just have like a certain idea about it. I don't think she's like, they should all die. But yeah, she has some prejudice.
Yeah, she's
a lot
of
Japanese people have a little bit of prejudice, unfortunately. It's getting a little better, but
yeah,
like all things, takes time.
I think that's like leaking through here. Basically, it's just that like default prejudice. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Apparently, what Chuyo was talking about with Mr. Oki is that he smelled like rotting protein wafting out of the apartment, which he was like, "Oh, it's the smell of death," and he thinks the guy's like a killer because of that. And in the end, he's like, well, you could probably take him down if it comes to it, so don't worry about it. And so Minari's like, okay, I'm done with all this suspense and occult bullshit.
No, you're not.
I want to make my program like a warm, fluffy towel. And like when she gets to work, she starts talking to Mizuho about like how she wishes she had the idea that was as warm and fluffy as an imabari towel. And so I had to look up what imabari towels were. They're like a company in Japan, in Ehime, Japan, that make these like super nice fucking fluffy towels. And they have like a super pretentious website where they're like, we craft the towel with the soft water from the blank river, blah, 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 blah. And it's like the most comfortable towel you ever feel. And I'm just like, I want to feel this towel. This is really working on me.
The funny part is right after I watched this, while I was watching it, I went, that towel sounds so amazing. And then I got advertised Japanese towels by Facebook after this.
What? How does that happen?
Yes. There's like apparently a company that makes like waffle towels. And I was like, but now I want to buy them.
Can you eat them with maple syrup?
I don't know, they have like a waffle patterned. So apparently Facebook even listens when I watch, or really Google even listens when I'm watching these shows now.
Oh, Facebook is off. I can't fucking Google a goddamn thing without it popping up on my Facebook feed.
Oh, I know.
So bad.
Fucking weird.
So despite wanting to do that like warm, comfy broadcast, Mizuho shows Minari a fax that came into the station about a guy whose girlfriend died and won't leave him alone and wants Minari to save him. And it turns out that this guy is Mr. Oki, her old neighbor. And so Mato,
of course.
Yeah, of course. This explains what he's been dealing with and why he's been like saying the Heart Sutra like every fucking night with like blood dripping into his cup. So yeah, Mato tells Minari like, you should go over that guy's apartment and record like a whole investigation for the radio show. It doesn't have to be live. Minari takes a lot of convincing because she thinks like, this guy might seriously be insane though. And Mato's like, don't worry, Mizuho's gonna go with you as like a backup. And Mizuho's like, me? And Minari swears like, don't worry, Mizuho, I will protect you with my life.
Yeah, but Mizuho has like this like love of like the occult and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, she's kind of into it.
It just makes her even cuter. Let's be honest.
And the other thing Mata says is like, putting your life on the line for entertainment is what we call being a professional. And he also is like, I'll bail you out of jail if you get arrested.
Wow.
So
like,
all that,
okay.
I was like, fine, I'll do it. So yeah, they show up at Oki's apartment, and he's a bit weirded out that his drunk neighbor is actually the radio personality he's been listening to and who he sent this fax to. And Minari, she does this like weird long joke about how women and spiritual purification are very much inextricably linked to each other because, like, have you ever heard of kuchikamizake? You know, this type of sake that's made from, like, fermenting in human saliva, which, by the way, anime viewers might have seen in the movie Your Name.
Yeah. Yes.
Which was gross, but also kind of nice.
I bet you that's, like, a huge tourist thing. I bet you when you go to Japan, you can buy the sake.
Yeah.
Come on. And then you just be like, oh, yeah. I wonder how many perverts have bought that sake and then drank it and been like, ooh, the saliva. Like
The saliva of the shrine maiden.
Just recently,
Yeah.
you remember the girl who took a bath and then bottled her water
Oh,
and
yeah.
sold all of it. Like, sold out. Demand was too high. Yeah. This should not surprise you in the least, Kat. I'm surprised you even asked this question. Of course.
It's weird. It's like, it's spit. It's not, I don't know.
Somebody
Look
in
here, Kat.
Japan should be making gamer girl kuchikamizake right now, and if they
Here we go,
aren't,
Kat.
gosh.
We're going to
They're
get on
losing
Craigslist.
money.
Just do a live
Everyone
cast of
post
her
an
chewing
ad.
it.
for you to spit in people's mouth. And I
Oh my
guarantee you we would get so many requests.
No, you want my kuchikamizake to be like rotten, since I'm like the opposite of a virgin.
Jesus Christ.
Just come and be like dark energy just floating from it, and you'll be like, oh yes, it'd be wonderful.
She drinks so much coffee, it's probably caffeinated too.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's great if you
One of our
mix it.
selling points.
It's a good mixer, you know. You just mix it with some like Mountain Dew. It's fantastic. And so they enter like the apartment or whatever, and Mizuho and Minari are like cosplaying as like a shrine maiden and priest, by the way, at this point.
Awesome.
And they see like talismans like all over the wall. There's like a pile of salt on the floor, and they're like, holy shit, this is real. And then the ceiling starts dripping like blood, and Oki starts freaking out like, she's here, she's here. And Minari like picks up the phone to call Chuya, like before hinting that like, I wasn't prepared for what was about to happen next in the crazy conclusion. And then it just, cuts the episode. I'm like, what?
So this is why I had watched 2 episodes ahead the last time I recorded, because the way this one ended, I'm like, I have to watch the next one now. There's nothing that's going to stop me. God damn it.
Yeah, exactly. That was a pretty big cliffhanger for sure. Oh, Kat, I like how you had emotes in your notes for this
oh, I
episode.
know. It's because I was watching this on my tablet, and I was like writing comments on my phone. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I was just like, no, that's too funny, and I just started going into text speak. It's weird.
Nice.
So okay, do you think that he has killed his girlfriend and she's upstairs or something?
Oh, man, I
Because
didn't even really think.
the like preview for the next episode, that it's like the dark liquid. Da, 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 da.
I don't know. That's
like-
a lot of blood, though. I feel like it's going to be some.
Well, but it would be
stupid
like her
thing.
rotting body or something, wouldn't it be?
But like the entire ceiling was like pouring blood out of it, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." I feel like there's a butcher that lives upstairs or something.
Man, it's something nasty. I'm just like, damn, they got into this.
I'm very curious, though. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happens that would create that much blood. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think his girlfriend's fine. She's just fine. It's fine.
Yeah, something's going on there. Speaking of crazy people who are romantically loosely connected,
I was going to say, speaking of cool girlfriends, or at least exes.
or at least exes. Yeah, I mean, she acts a little bit strange at the beginning, but she's a pretty awesome character.
I like this character. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
Sing
hard-
yesterday for me.
Quickly, became my favorite character in the show.
Yes, I was sad at the end of the episode. I was like, oh, we only get her for one episode? Really?
Is it any surprise that the best girl on the show is named Chika?
Oh, it made me laugh too, because she describes herself as very like surface level with people, not super like emotional, doesn't fall in love. And I was like, that's Chika. No emotional depth at all. Like, they deserve to share the same name.
Indeed.
So, yes, at the beginning of this episode, Rikuo is sitting under a katatsu.
Did we say this was Sing Yesterday? I don't remember if we did. It is Sing Yesterday for me. Okay,
I said it.
You probably did, and I just forgot. Don't worry about it. Just making sure.
But yeah, anyway, Rikuo is sitting under katatsu, and there's a woman who's like laying on her side, like under the katatsu as well, and her feet keep touching him while she sleeps, and this is making him very uncomfortable. And you find out, basically, I had to rewatch the beginning of this episode a couple times because I was so confused on what happened. Were you guys a little bit confused? Because it's very abrupt.
Maybe? I don't remember. So, like, who is this? I don't remember this.
So, I mean, shows do this all the time. So this is just like, they're showing a scene from like the middle of the episode, and you're like, what? And then they're like, and now we're going to explain how he ended up here.
Well, but even like her being introduced when he comes out of work and she's there is very quick. It's like a boom, boom, boom. Like, all right.
And that makes me happy.
What makes you happy? It made me confused. So
yeah, I think I got it pretty quick who that was after the fact. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I had to watch it like twice or something. So anyway, she's waiting for him when he gets off work, and she's like, "Yeah, I've lived in the area a while," and like he looks really confused, and she realizes he doesn't recognize her, and she's like, "Oh, well, after all, I did dye my hair." And she explains that she was in the same class with him in high school, and that she's his ex. And suddenly he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's you, it's Chika." And you know, basically she's like, "Hey, I need to stay with you. I got evicted." And it seemed like, I don't know what I would do if my ex from high school like showed up.
This is what I was thinking about the entire time. Like, I was like, how would I react in this situation?
Yeah, and like, I guess it makes sense that she would go to him because, like, she explains the rest of her exes all have girlfriends, and she doesn't want to cause problems. But man, even so, I'd be like, I don't know, fuck off. Okay.
But what if they cooked for you, though?
I mean, that does almost make it better. Like,
it really does.
Like the idea of having a wife and just coming home and she's like, "I made food for you. Here it is."
She just doesn't cook. She's like a really good cook too. Like,
yeah, I know.
She gets she's
like
making the full course meals, and that's what he gets to come home to. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it is like a bit presumptuous to like come to somebody's house, use like the things that are already in their refrigerator to cook for them, like the things that they bought for themselves. Like, I still, like, it's nice that they did it, like, in the end, and it's good, but also like really presumptuous to do that. Like, holy shit.
Well, I look at it this way: I was going to eat it anyways. If somebody else is going to make it for me,
yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway, he has a flashback of her playing piano in high school and telling him that he never did really understand her. And I guess this is when she broke up with him. And apparently in high school, we find out she had this nickname, the Great Destroyer. And every band she joined ended up failing and falling apart over relationship drama. And it makes me wonder, like, is it her drama or is it people around her's drama?
It's that she can't say no to anybody who has feelings for her, and since she's pretty hot, you know, every guy in the band's like, "Hey, I like you, date me," and then the next guy says it, and then it's just, you know, fucking destroys everything. She can't say no.
Yeah, there's that scene where she says, like, "I like the idea that people like me." And like, maybe I'm a little screwed up in the head or something. She says, but I can't say no. Like, I want to accept them, basically. And so, yeah.
Well, I think she loves the fact that they love her, you know.
Well, yeah, obviously that's part of it.
So it's odd. She's in love with love in a way. But anyway, there was a victims association for her and like
yeah,
all this. And at first I thought is she just manipulating people? But as the show goes on, you're right, Bcom, she's just very like, well, once someone else likes me, I'm going to go with that person.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have a lot of deeper emotion about it. I don't know. And also I was wondering after I realized they dated, like, how do you not recognize someone you dated? Even if it was only 4 months, it's kind of odd.
Well, you got to think they've graduated, they've gone to college, it's been a couple years. So let's just say 10 years, and she's dyed her hair. I mean, you're still kind of growing at that time. And then, like, even when you look at the flashback, she is looks very different.
She does look very different. You're right. It just surprised.
But
I was
then,
like,
I would say he's like not sure if he recognizes her or not. But then when she finally says who he is, it's like you see all the connection in his head and his brain suddenly connect. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, now that makes sense. That's who you are. Because he's like, now I see the resemblance. So
yeah. Later, he goes over to Shinako's house and helps her set up her TV.
Fuck her.
Because she's moved again. Yeah, and
God
I'm like,
damn it.
really? Like, it pisses me off that Shinako cannot fucking make up her mind.
It really pisses me off, too. Holy
I'm
shit.
just like, and then you asked him over to help you instead of asking Roku to do it?
Well, you've always hooked up my VCR before, so...
I wouldn't ask one of my students to do that. I'm just like... I'm going to strangle you alive. Like, either decide you want to date him or don't.
You know where all my plugs and wires are.
When he gets home, Chika is back, and she found the spare key and just let herself back in. And I'm just like, come on! You can't just come and go as you please. You didn't sign a lease agreement. But she cooked again, and I guess that kind of appeases the situation. He asked basically, like, do you plan on squatting here then? Is that what's going on? And she kind of looks to the side like, yeah. And she plans on staying there at least a month. That's a long time. She's going to try to get a job playing piano in lobbies and stuff.
But if she's absolutely broke, that's pretty reasonable for her to save up enough to get her own place and, like, have a slight
it's
bit
pretty
of side
reasonable.
cash.
It's just a lot to expect from someone you haven't seen in 10 years.
Yeah. It's a big ask, but it is reasonable in the end, especially if she'd been more upfront about it. But maybe he wouldn't have accepted if she'd been so upfront about it. So
yeah, but yeah. So, and there's like a commentary here where you just kind of see like Shinako wondering if she's being selfish later, and combined with Chika in this episode, I just kept thinking like, oh my gosh, like he lets everyone take advantage of him. Like he just, I don't know. It's odd. You have to think he gets something out of it though, but it's a weird thing.
I guess he does, but yeah, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Yeah, I really like the conversation between like Chika and Shinako at the end of the episode, like where they're clearing things up. Just because she does say like, yeah, he's just a really nice guy. He's always been this way, and so I knew I could take advantage of that, basically. And so
yeah. It's sad. And then at work, his boss suggests he work at a studio his friend owns instead of his job. And I guess he just wants him to have opportunities. But it is a weird thing to think about. You go to work and your boss is like, hey, so why don't you work somewhere else?
Yeah.
So then later that night when Rikuo gets home, it looks like he's going to hit on Chika. And she almost is like, well, sure, I guess we'll have sex. Which
Almost
was like...
No, she's like...
I guess I
let's
wouldn't
do this.
mind.
I give you permission.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I wouldn't mind. I mean, it's not like she's like, yes, now do it, but she's not against it.
She has definitely like thought about this beforehand and felt like okay, I guess if this happens, it's fair.
It's fair.
It's fair of him to want this.
I am staying here rent free. I guess he gets access to my vagina. Okay.
like that's how it came off though, and I kind of laughed because she was like so. Like, just, it was like very clear to me that she had thought this through beforehand and was like, okay, I guess this is understandable.
I would agree with that. She has already thought this out before, that if he was to come onto her, she would just go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird. And then, like, she goes to push him away so she can turn the stove off first, and he passes out, and I guess he was just sick. And of course
Yep.
I was like, oh, he's got that coronavirus. And then I was like, I probably shouldn't make that joke. But I did anyway. Chika says he should go to the
horrible
hospital.
people.
Oh, yeah, we really are. But, Chika says she should go to the hospital. He says he won't. She feeds him. And when you find out here that her parents were really strict. And she basically had to live her own life by force. And that makes a lot of sense to me why she's like kind of promiscuous and she sort of goes from person to person and like does her own thing. Sometimes when you get raised too strictly, you just kind of burst out in random ways. So that makes sense to me. But yeah.
She is thankful though that they did have her learn the piano though.
Yes, because that's like the skill that she has. So.
Yeah,
everything has its good parts.
That was sort of me growing up. Like, I hated learning piano when I started learning it as like a little kid. I didn't want to do it, but then I was really grateful years later that I had like learned that skill. It's something that like I don't think it goes for everything, but especially with like learning an instrument from an early age, I think most people are usually grateful that their parents made them do it. Especially if they become like good at it, because it is a skill that people like really value. Whenever you say like, oh yeah, I can play piano, I can play an instrument. People do value that a lot, and they think it's cool.
I think it has to be whether you yourself learn to value it. Like, if you enjoy playing piano eventually, then you will appreciate that they made you do that. But if it never becomes an interest of yours and you just have this ability, I don't think it's really that valuable. So
that's true.
Just depends. Yeah. But then, it goes to this scene where Shinako is with her friends, and we find out
fellow teachers.
Yeah, and they're having like a little sleepover, and they're like, "Oh, you're still hung up on this guy," da, da, da. And we find out she didn't even date this dude that she's been talking about all this time in this fucking series.
My mind was fucking blown when this was
revealed. She just had a crush on him.
They weren't lovers, is how they put it. Like, she just had a crush, and then she's been hung up on him this entire time. And she took care of him until like he died, based on like a crush she had.
Do you think he knew? Do you think she ever confessed and was like, "I have a crush on you"?
So I love how it like angered you guys, and I just got super confused. I was like, wait, they never dated? Did he even like her?
Yeah, that's the question for me, too. I assume he did, but I don't know if he thought like they were more than friends or not.
He was too busy dying.
You kind of know.
He couldn't get a boner.
I feel like if a person is there all the fucking time and they're that devoted to you, surely you know that they love you.
You would have to know, unless you're an oblivious Japanese high school boy.
An oblivious, sickly Japanese high school boy.
I was going to say a villainess, but sure.
Bakarina.
Or that too. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. It's just weird. And her friends call her like, oh, it's so pure. And they call the situation all these good things. And I'm just like, no, it's cowardly. Because if she didn't confess to him, then she basically just let like what could have been pass by. And she hasn't done anything since to move on with her life. Like, it's all cowardly.
Yeah, it's really a rough situation. Like, and yeah, maybe that's part of why she can't get past it, because she like regrets never telling him how she actually felt. I don't know. But
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, Haru and Tsunaka go to the grocery store to meet up with Rikuo, and they accidentally meet up there. They go to see Rikuo, but they find out he's sick.
Again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, going back to this
they've pulled the sick card twice so far.
Know. We're going to find out he has like pneumonia next. So they go to his house to see him, and Chika opens the door, and they're all shocked. And
so fucking funny.
Oh, I know. And
their
leave.
Faces were so great.
Oh, I love the part where like he comes home and she's like, "You have nice girlfriends," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, stop it!"
I was really annoyed at Shinako again that she didn't give Chika any time to explain the situation at all, and just left immediately and assumed the worst, basically.
Yeah, well, and Shinako is so like ice queen about it, which frustrates me. At least Haru like confronts him about it. So Haru immediately calls this, when Shinako and Haru are like have left and they're walking home together, she calls it cheating on them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're not both dating him. Like,
I love that this happened. I love that this happened though with Chika, because this really got the ball rolling again with Shinako.
True.
Yes.
This was like a big motivate Shinako episode, I feel
Yes.
like.
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, Shinako's just like, well, what did we expect? Whatever. And like Haru comes and confronts Rikuo about it the next day, and it's like, you need to tell me what the fuck's going on. Like he tries to escape out the back, and she like beats him there. And he tries to tell her the situation, and then she fucking throws a chair at him and just leaves.
It's a crate. It's a fucking crate.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a chair.
It was a crate. She held it like people hold chairs all the time, though. But yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, then Shinako sees him on the way home, and he tries to explain, but she just plays Ice Queen, which of the two, I would much rather someone be angry at me.
Me too.
And like throw a chair, and then I have to deal with them later. Than like, well, I'm just gonna pretend that doesn't matter at all. Like, what the fuck? So then Chika and Shinako meet up for dinner again, and he brings up what she said when she broke up with him about how he never really understood her, and that he, she may have always been right, although he didn't really understand at the time. And then she's like, well, I actually was bullshitting you when I said that, because some other dude had just confessed to me, and I just had to figure out a way to break up with you. And I'm just like, oh my God. It's a hell of a thing to admit later. And then they had that whole conversation that we've already had about her having a hard time saying no to people who love her.
Yeah.
And Shinako is later hovering outside Rikuo's house when Chika comes up like the next day. So Chika brings her into the house, and Shinako and Chika have this conversation clarifying that there's nothing between Chika and Rikuo.
This solidified Chika as best girl for me, by the way.
Same.
Yeah,
her willingness
she
to just
doesn't want to
clarify
ruin
things. Yeah,
she doesn't want to ruin Rikuo's chances with either of these women. But I think she kind of picks Shinako as her pick of which of the two she would rather see him with, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked her character. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna, at the end of the episode, Chika gets a job and just leaves him this note. And I'm really sad because I don't want her to not be in this anime. I like her character a lot.
I agree.
Like, I get the feeling that she's basically not going to be back, or if she is, it'll be in like a small part, because like, yeah, it seemed like she was a vehicle for getting Shinako like back on board and like like into Rikuo again. When I'm just like looking at Chika and I'm like, but why not you though? Like, why these other girls and why not you? Like, you're so good. Oh man, it's sad.
It is.
Her only downside is she's a smoker. Otherwise, she's pretty damn perfect, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I did see that too, and I was like, that's not great. Yeah, like, but like with all we said, like for this episode, for the two girls that are probably the ones, like Haru and Shinako, I just like massively prefer Haru now, and I did not start out that way, but man, Shinako just pisses me off so much.
She frustrates me. Like, she's so not genuine with herself. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we should move on. We're running a little long for this first half.
Really long. You both talked forever on both your shows.
Oh, it's interesting stuff. We could talk less about this, I guess.
My Next Life as a Villainess, episode 6. I had fun over summer vacation. This is the summer vacation episode. It's basically just divided into like 6 different skits.
Yeah.
So it starts off with what it seems like Katarina is buying fake snakes off the black market and practicing the ancient Japanese art of throwing snakes at stuff. Also, she can make Jordo drop his guard if it ever becomes necessary, which is pretty funny. So Katarina decides to do some gardening, and then meanwhile, Katarina's mom and like a maid are talking about how she changed after she got that bump on her forehead. She's like really connected with like the gardener and the head maid who really didn't talk to anybody else, made them open up and stuff like that. And then like Katarina's mom is trying to pay a compliment to her about how much like
cows.
Like how much she has helped the household.
Milking cows.
So So as she's doing that, you hear Katarina outside yelling as she's like hoeing the garden, and she eventually just has to go out and yell at her. So it was pretty funny.
I was trying to interrupt Leo in the same way.
Interesting you went with cows.
My great grandmother had a dairy farm, so I just default to cows.
Oh, so that's your brain just went there. Yeah. Okay. So Katarina and Keith relax under a tree, and Katarina like takes a nap in the grass. And then Keith remembers when they were kids and they were both sleeping under the tree, and he was having a nightmare, and he woke her up, and they just never had nightmares again from then on. But then Keith gets super creeper, and he like looks at Katarina's sleeping face and starts to kind of slowly move in for the kiss. But she wakes up suddenly, and we don't get to see him violate his half-sister.
She wants agar jelly noodles, which I feel like I've had these before, but I don't remember what they taste like. I really want to
have these now. Like, I need to make a list of Japanese foods that I need to try, so when I finally go to Japan, I can just check them off.
I looked this up.
One.
Apparently, it comes from like red algae. Like, I didn't even know that. I had no idea where it came from.
I wonder if that means it's really good for you.
Probably. It has a lot of nutrients, probably.
And they're like a sweet, too. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
All right, on to the next part. Giordo invites Katarina to accompany him to the lake. But on the way, Creeper Keith catches up to him because he heard Giordo invited her to a lake. And he's like, no, they can't be alone. But then Katarina only invites him because she thinks he felt lonely because he got left behind. Man, Keith has just got to get rid of this boner for Katarina. He
like shits on Giordo like right in front of Giordo's face too, where he's like, that's the whole, like, she's like, I'm just here going to the lake with Giordo, and he's like, yeah, that's the problem. If I'm Giordo, I'm like, hey Keith, buddy, what's going on here?
So at the lake, Katarina has literally invited everybody else to join them for some good old rowboat racing. Problem is, there's only room for 2 people in the boats, and as you would assume, everybody wants to ride with Katarina. I think Mary's argument is the best because she's like, it'll be better with 2 girls.
Yeah. I was laughing because it's like literally the ships getting in boats together or like deciding on which boat to be in.
Yeah, this is definitely more evidence that Mary's going full lesbian on us here, which is fine and all.
Yeah, it's cute.
So I guess they eventually decide by drawing lots, and the pairs are pretty funny. So like Keith and Giordo in a boat. Oh shit. Alan and Nicole, which is not a big idea. Big problem. Maria and Sophia, who have absolutely no chance of winning this race. These are like the 2 weakest physically skilled people in this entire group.
And Maria's like, I've never been in a boat before. Wow.
I don't know how, whatever. And finally, Katarina and Mary get in the boat together, and Mary just gets like so excited she tackles Katarina and they fucking capsize. They go back to shore. They're enjoying some snacks. Sophia comments that Nicole smiles more since Katarina's been around, and everybody like looks at him and they're like, I can't tell. And Nicole also comments to Giordo that his smile is genuine now when he's around Katarina, and basically Giordo says the exact same thing right back at him. So they're like all kind of realizing that Katarina is the glue here. She brings everybody together, makes everybody happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's a little ride back that I think Bcom's going to handle this little part.
Wait, what? I don't remember this.
It's when they ride back to the estate or whatever. And
it's when she's asleep? Oh.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, yeah. So Katarina's like asleep in the carriage, and George and Keith are like, or Giordo, not George. They're like, oh God, she's always leaving herself defenseless. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's literally in a fucking carriage with her fiance and her half-brother.
And her brother. And she's like, I trust these people. I can fall asleep. Yeah. And they're like, she's so vulnerable. We can do whatever we want to her.
She should theoretically feel super comfortable in this situation and not have to worry about fucking anything. But Keith is a goddamn creeper, so he might make a move.
Apparently, their idea of like what manners for a lady mean is that like they need to be on alert at all times, even with their closest family and friends.
Because anyone might rape them at any time.
Any minute. Like, yeah, God, it's ridiculous.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was funny to me too. I just did like a little yeah, whatever. She should be totally fine right now. So Next part 4, Katarina goes out shopping with Sophia and obviously Nicole. Is it Nikolai or just
It's
Nicole?
just Nicole with no, yeah.
Nicole. Okay. How she got Keith not to tag along is an absolute miracle to me because he knows she went out. They first drop into like a random shop and pick out like jeweled hair clips for each other. It's cutesy, whatever.
Sophia's hat is very cute in this scene, by the way.
You know what? I was like, how'd she get all that hair under that hat? It's not big enough to hold all her hair. Her hair is as long as her body.
She's got it like bundled up inside like the top of the hat, I bet, or something clipped up there.
Yeah, but there's not enough room in the top of that hat, man. They finally finish shopping, and Sophia claims she forgot something and forces Katarina and Nicole to be alone. She is clearly trying to make the two hook up so she can lock that BFF spot all for herself, which is hilarious to me. Because that's what she's teaming for. Then Mary's like, I just want her for myself, you know?
Yeah.
If there's anybody as oblivious as how they make others fall for them, it would have to be Nicole, who holds Katarina's face and tells her he wants her by her side, which basically causes her to collapse. She's like, holy shit.
Shit faints. Yeah.
All right,
Power
moving on.
of the Dark Prince or whatever. I'm just like, okay.
It wasn't Dark Prince.
Devilish
it was,
Count.
Devilish Count.
Devilish
yes.
Count. Thank you.
I was like, okay.
So part 5, they go to a party where Alan is going to play the piano, and when he begins...
Okay, so did the sister... I just want to say this real quick. Did the sister know that her brother was going to hit on her like that?
No, but she wishes him good luck. She's like,
I'm kind of with Kat. Yeah, because she's like...
I thought that she did know.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. Okay, so I think Sophia is like less like romantically interested in Katarina.
Yeah, she wants the BFF spot, dude.
Yeah, she wants that BFF spot, like you said, exactly.
Or she's like, if my brother marries her, she'll be living with me forever,
Exactly.
and I can have a secret relationship
that's her
with
end
her.
Game for sure. Yeah.
I can just steal her,
Sophia
steal her from
has
my brother.
a fucking game plan, and she's got it spelled out. Okay.
Yeah, she's like, if my brother thinks that, he's gonna get her, but really it's gonna be me.
Okay,
Good luck, Nissan.
Yeah, finish that sentence you were starting, Leo.
So they go to
Leo. I just had to say something.
So they go to a party where Alan is going to play the piano, and when he begins, you can literally hear the wet panties hitting the floor. It's God damn it.
Splat.
There's just like groups of girls holding up banners, and it's just like, what the fuck? After his performance, Katarina asks what song that was, and it's called For You, My Dearest One. She's like, oh, so you were thinking about someone special when you performed this. And by his reaction, she's like, oh, yeah, he was, which was Katarina. Of course, Katarina is oblivious to this fact that it was her she was thinking of, but like Mary's like, fuck, he was thinking about Katarina, and she's like muttering under her breath that she needs to do something to lessen the competition.
Yeah, and it's like to throw him off. Like, I think, Mary's like very clearly saying like, I'm in love with Katarina, and I need to keep people from like discovering that and stuff, and throw people off.
There is a great line in the next episode, but we'll have to save it.
Yeah.
There's just one quick thing that happens in the party, and that's when like Katarina is having a conversation with Sirius, and then like you just see like a bunch of girls jealousy giving her the stink eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, final part 6. Katarina waits till the last minute to do her summer break homework and has to like ask Keith for help. And like eventually later on in the night, she's like, all right, I can finish this by myself. But then she accidentally falls asleep and she dreams a little bit about her past life and eventually gets like woken up by the maid. Then she suddenly realizes she didn't finish her homework and she's like, fuck.
Yeah.
When the episode ends.
Katarina and Toru Honda having very similar problems with summer homework this week.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was a great episode. Like, I liked it quite a bit more than previous episodes because of there being so many more interactions between all of the different characters. Now that they're all built up and that they can all just like be goofy and stuff, like I really liked the 6-part skit format too. I thought that worked pretty well.
The 2 episodes before this, I was kind of bored with. I was definitely really like this one, and I think the next episode's even better too. So
cool.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
I've continued to enjoy it. It's kind of it has no substance, but it's a fun show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Speaking of wet panties, Gleipnir.
Speaking of substances, Gleipnir. So, this episode starts off with bikini-clad girl, who I guess her name is Sayaka, but they never mention it in this episode, so I'm going to call her Bikini Girl the entire time for fun. She's in a Jason mask, and she's telling her group of gatherers that they're weaker than the other, like, evil gatherers they've run into. But their goal is to collect all the coins and end this game once and for all. Like, that's their whole goal as a group. And so she introduces, like, Clair in the Shuichi suit to the other members as, like, a new member of their group. And so we then flash back a few days earlier. Clair took the phone off of that, like, Attack on Titan looking weird monster that Sanbei sliced in half. And found out that he was, like, and he and whoever he was with were threatening this other group of gatherers. And Clair calls one of those, like, gatherers. They have the phone number and is like, it basically gets an invite to the group, basically, to, like, meet them and decide whether she can join them. And she's doing this because she wants information, and she also says, like, I just want pieces to move around the board, like, maybe some allies to, like, help protect them, and yeah. And so they also wonder, like, what Claire's sister is doing, like, in all of this, and so they think about, like, if whether Clair and Shuichi were truly brought together by coincidence, and, like, Clair hugs him and is like, no, it must have been destiny. So to cut to a few days later again, and Clair is asked to change back into her normal form so she can sign a special pact with this new group. And Clair, like, thinks about it for a minute, and then she decides, like, okay, I'll sign the pact, but only I will. I need to decide whether you guys are trustworthy before Shuichi, who's the guy in this suit, is going to sign this pact. And so they're like, surprised because, like, they didn't think there were two people in this suit anyway. So Bikini Girl leads Clair upstairs. While, like, Clair figures out that, like, most of the gatherers, including, like, this girl, were wearing masks or helmets because they probably retain their true appearance when they transform. And speaking of which, there's, like, a girl who's wearing, like, a biker helmet downstairs, and she goes up to Shuichi and she's like, can I please pet you?
Biker motorcycle helmet.
Yeah. Her name is Chihiro. And when she pets Shuichi, she can tell, like, oh, you're a kind person because I can understand animals' feelings. And he's like, I'm a human.
I guess you could make the argument that people are just animals.
Yeah, for sure. And he's definitely more animalistic when he's in that form anyway. So, and then, okay, there's this telescope dude who's part of this group, and he is fucking freaking out that Chihiro is getting close to this guy. He clearly has a thing for Chihiro, which will become even more clear over the course of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, meanwhile, Bikini Girl takes her bikini off and tells Clair she has the power to make people keep secrets. And Claire's pretty wary of this girl and asks her, like, hey, why did you take your clothes off? Is that part of the whole thing? She's like, don't worry about it. and I'm putting myself in, like, Claire's position. I'm like, I'm kind of worried about it. I don't know.
I'm kind of worried about it, yeah.
It's revealed that this girl, like, knows that Ikeuchi, who is the telescope, like, head dude, didn't reveal their group's secrets because if he had, he would be dead. And Clair tells her, like, look, I'm just looking for my sister Elena. And, like, she's like, oh, you're her little sister. Okay. Well, I could tell you all about Elena if you just join our group. And so apparently Bikini Girl hates people that don't keep secrets because...
Oh, she doesn't hate girls, which you almost said.
Yeah, I almost said that, yeah. Because she was involved with a teacher in high school. And when that teacher started distancing themselves from her, she, like, told her best friend about the relationship. And her best friend couldn't keep this a secret. And once the information got out, the teacher hung themselves out of shame.
Yeah, that's a lot of trauma.
Yeah. And Claire's like, one question. Was this teacher a girl? The Bikini Girl's like, yes, she was. And then she starts fondling Claire's boob to, like,
she's
confirm.
Just like, and now I'm going to hit on you. Do you want to have sex? And I thought that was the ritual. I thought that she was saying, you're going to have sex with me in order for this to work.
Yeah.
And then when she was like, oh, but this isn't the ritual, I was like,
wait a minute.
What the fuck?
I also like how when Clair is getting, like, assaulted, she looks over and sees, like, a pink vibrator dildo on a shelf nearby. I'm just like, why? Like, what relevance does this have?
I don't know. Maybe when she takes breaks, she needs some stress relief. I don't know.
Yeah, fair. So... Shuichi asks Chihiro, that girl, why did you start gathering coins? she seems very similar to that girl Nana from school, because she basically says like, I was worried about like what would happen to my family and my town if someone power hungry were to get the coins for themselves. And Shuichi identifies with that feeling of like knowing that you're weak, but like not being able to give up on protecting others, basically. So he kind of identifies with this girl. Also, since Shuichi can smell things and find them, like sense, like, you know, track things through smell, Chihiro's like, I lost my wallet in the woods and it has my ID in it, which could compromise me if it was found by somebody. So could we please go look for this, like, wallet? And he's like, all right, fine. She's really weak and frail, and they don't get far before she, like, takes her helmet off, and this reveals that she has animal ears. And,
oh, God.
And Shuichi points at her and yells, weirdo! Though, it seemed to me like he was yelling, like, furry or something. I don't know. Like, it seems like that's what he's accusing her of. And she's like, no, I'm not a furry. I just wanted to be a veterinarian, and so I wanted to understand animals more, like, better, not become an animal. And Shuichi tells Chihiro, like, okay, look, I can find this wallet on my own way better, because your scent is just going to distract me, and you're just going to slow me down. And she's like, but what if I got inside you, though? Then you wouldn't smell me. And Shuichi's like,
just,
no.
Man, typical woman. She just wants to get inside the man.
Yeah, typical, very typical. Chihiro's like, oh, will your girlfriend get mad or something? He's like, she's not my girlfriend or anything, I guess. But your clothes would get all messy. And she's like, oh, that's not a problem. Strips naked immediately.
Yeah, there's just a lot of nakedness for nakedness' sake.
Also,
not that I mind. But,
Telescope guy is like looking on from a distance, seeing his like crush strip naked with this guy she met like 5 minutes ago, and freaking the fuck out. Oh, it's hilarious. And so Shuichi observes that like when Chihiro gets inside him, that like she's not picking up the movement as easily as Clair was. But then Chihiro, who can sense what he's thinking, he's like, are you thinking about your girlfriend now?
Oh, boy.
Meanwhile, Bikini Girl is rubbing Claire's crotch with her hand.
Of course.
As you do. Claire asks an important question. Is this actually part of the pact ceremony? and she's like, it's not as like, I don't like girls. Like, yeah, love comes in all forms, but like, I don't think we know each other well enough to be doing this. And Bikini Girl, to her credit, gets off and apologizes.
It's so random just to be like, yes, I don't know. Maybe she's a nympho or something. Because like, there's just no other explanation to suddenly be like, and now we're gonna have sex.
I saw like when I watched this episode for like a second time to do a synopsis of it. When Claire gets out of Shuichi in the beginning of the episode and like she emerges in her like school uniform, like this girl's eyes just light up. She is way into it. And so yeah, I think she was just really attracted to Claire, and that's probably the whole reason. And so yeah, okay.
Maybe a little more subtle, and she could have actually got what she wanted.
Possibly if she played it a little slower. Maybe built up to this.
Yes.
So she gives Claire a choker necklace made from her own hair, which is a little weird. And she's like, all right, if you put this around your neck, it will like sort of meld with your neck. Nobody will be able to see it. But what it ensures is that if you ever reveal my group's secrets or feel that you've betrayed us in any way, it will just cut your head straight off. And Claire like thinks about it for a bit and decides like it's worth accepting this to find out more about what's going on with her sister, which is kind of crazy. But she also has seen somebody have their head severed and be healed recently, so who knows if that would even be death. So, so it's at this point that Shuichi realizes like Chihiro is completely naked inside of him, not just wearing like underwear. And asks he asks like, "Are you an idiot? Are you dumb?" And then meanwhile, this is at the very end of the episode. A guy who we haven't met yet, whose name's Subaru, picks up Chihiro's wallet in the forest, and he's with Elena and some other guy. And so clearly they're gonna like come together next episode as they find this.
Yeah. So Bikini Girl's power is basically a really good insurance policy.
Yeah, essentially. It's pretty good. Yeah. betray me, and you are dead instantly.
Well, not just betray her, betray the group.
Yeah, betray the whole group, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and it's based on like what you think. So like if you feel that it's you can't even like sneak anything small in, which is it's a great power for sure. Yeah.
But it's pretty good. All right. Anything else to say before we take a break? Yeah, let's take a break.
And we'll be back.
See you.
Woo.
Hey, dude, you into anime, manga, and all that radical stuff?
Oh, yeah, man. It's tubular.
Then you should totally check out the...
This transmission has been hacked. If you want discussions, debate, reviews, and all in between, you must listen to the Anime Radicals Network at www.animeradicals.com. There's timely reviews, revolutions, mecha, and much more. Find it on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all podcast catchers. The Anime Radicals Network.
The revolution will be simulcast.
And here's another tasty morsel from the Trash Pandas Watch Anime podcast.
Some fan service.
Yeah. I mean, it worked pretty well in Dragon Ball. Do you remember those scenes with Bulma?
Bulma was running around in a bunny outfit for the longest time.
I know. Akira Toriyama.
We can get the Dragon Balls, and then we can make our wish. Bulma's panties.
Did Oolong wish for Bulma's panties, or did you just wish for a pair of panties?
I think it was just a pair of panties. I'm sure it's different in the Japanese than it is in the English dub. But... yeah, he just wished for panties. They're probably used.
As always, you can find us on Facebook and on Twitter at Trash Panda Anime. You can find us on our website, tpwapodcast.com. You can also find us on assorted sites like SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes.
Hey, we're back. And unfortunately, we have to talk about Fruits Basket because Kat made that her lock and she's deranged.
Wow. Coming out strong. Very strong.
Okay, you have to admit this episode was interesting.
No.
I don't think Leo would ever admit that.
Let me read my notes. This is just soap opera drama. It's also boring and has not improved for me from the first 6 episodes that we covered in the first season. Please drop this, Cat.
Oh my god.
That's all my notes. I don't know why you would think otherwise.
I confirm that is all Leo has written down.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. You're just being a dumbass. If you don't think this is interesting, you're crazy.
I think Kukushigoto is a lot more interesting. Wink, wink.
Okay, that show is half really good and half mostly trash. But the part that's really good, I love.
I love the part that's really good, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, half the episode is dumb skit stuff. It's like, oh, no, she can't find out. We're going to do this elaborate thing. That part is dumb. You have to admit.
Yeah, we'll get into this when we talk about Kakushigoto after, but like I kind of feel the same way, but I do also really like that show still. But yeah.
Yeah, I still really like the series. It just part of it is, yeah. Anyway, so Fruits Basket, episode 6, Are You Really This Stupid?
Is that
Momiji comes
did Leo
in.
write the episode title?
Yeah, really. Momiji comes in and says they're going out tomorrow. The two twins get in on this too, and Kyo is in a really bad mood when Momiji comes in to, like, convince him to do this with him. Mm-hmm. And ends up, like, hitting him in the head. And I wrote, like, child abuse. Because, like, I mean, he's so little.
Yeah, and like, it's funny because, like, he's like, Kyo hit me! And then, like, by the end of the scene, he's like, you've gotten nicer. And I'm like, wait, what? What was you like before? Holy shit.
Momiji waffles back and forth from, like, I'm a childish person to I'm a wise adult sage person telling you this. And I'm just like, this is weird. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's not a lot to this episode except certain points, which makes it hard. The hat gets talked about here. So Yuki comes in to talk to Toru at one point, and he notices this hat on one of her shelves. And she explains it's from a boy who helped her when she was young and got lost, but she doesn't remember much about him.
Yeah.
This conversation happened in season 1 within the first 6 episodes.
But no, we didn't know whose hat it was still, though.
I knew it was, but how did I know it was Yuki's?
I don't know. I thought we probably guessed at the time, like, whether it was Yuki or Kyo.
Like, it shows, like, the white hair or something, and it's like the dead giveaway. It's Yuki.
But, like,
no, so I think they make it obscure. Yeah. They make it so that you're not
I don't
really
know,
sure.
because you both you guys in your notes, you're like, oh my god, it's really suggests it's Yuki, and I'm like, no, we already knew it was Yuki.
No, I think it was always
How
left
did
ambiguous.
I know it was already Yuki? I'm the one who doesn't fucking like this show.
Because you're a genius, Leo. I don't know. But also, I still don't know if it's Yuki. I'm still not convinced, honestly.
I don't know, but I think they keep it obscure so you keep guessing, but whatever. Shigeru
There's
doesn't
only
end up...
two other
go ahead.
characters with white hair.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but,
it could just be black and white, though.
I mean, they show a flashback of Yuki wearing the hat, like, as a little boy. But also, they don't show him running into Kyo, who could have been wearing the same hat and could have been the boy.
He recognizes the hat.
He does. And then he's about to tell Toru something, and then he stops. Because they're keeping it ambiguous.
If you do not think it's Yuki, I don't know why. And if the show is... unless the show is purposely, really hardly purposely misleading you
Yuki
that it
Kyo?
is Yuki when it's really somebody else. Kyo has fucking orange hair.
Well, but like it could just be a black and white thing. Like you're so hung up.
But it's
the
not
whole
in black
idea
and white.
is that the
It's
show
in
as
color.
a whole, she has to make this decision. Who does she fall in love with? And it's obscure, just like her indecision is obscure. That's what it is.
Indeed.
Yes.
I'm just saying the most interesting thing about the show is arguing about who the fucking hat belongs to.
Whose hat was it? Oh my god.
Who cares about
so
anything
dramatic.
else? Except Ren.
Oh my
Ren's
gosh.
a hottie. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, Ren is fucking hot in this episode. So, anyway, Shigure ends up not going because he has quote unquote work. And then the work comes later. The work that he has to do.
Indeed.
The work comes 30 seconds after they walk away.
I know. It's like, oh, so sad. I have work.
Work just comes
And then-
crawling back into his lap.
Yes. So fucking Ren comes to visit Shigure, and it's almost as if they had a plan or something, but really she surprised him. And a reminder, this is the girl that dumped Haru.
Yeah.
And she basically like gets on her fucking hands and knees and is like crawling towards him, and her bra is like sticking out her shirt. And he's just like, what am I going to do with you? And it's very clear that this is going to be a sexual thing.
He also says, like, do you think I'm this simple? And she kind of like just keeps going. So my opinion of this scene is that she wants something from him. And I think it was sort of hinted that he has some leverage over like whether her relationship with Haru is like going to be accepted or not by like Akito. So I think personally she's doing this to get him to help her out with the whole fucking Haru situation. That's my read on it.
Which is even more fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up.
Because she's sleeping with this dude so that she can date and eventually marry the person she wants to marry.
Also, somas. So
it's all in the family.
And also, like,
fuck that.
The fact that Shigure is cool with this and is willing to take advantage of his situation, you see a side of him that you don't usually see.
Yeah.
Like, he is a good person in some situations, but he is fucked up. He is really fucked up, and he does shit like this.
I'm going to say this can easily lead into the next scene, and he just has his hand in her face, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that could easily happen, too. I don't know. I hate thinking about this show.
Well, and it's like, you know that he's close to Haru somewhat, and that, like, he's going to see him later. And, like, what do you... I don't know. What do you just think of how he handles that? And then, like... the ages of Shigure versus Ren, like a 10-year age gap is not terrible when both people are older, but when you're like 18, you shouldn't be dating someone 10 years older than you. So, I don't know. Basically, the rest of the show is a hot spring episode. Toru knows how to swim, I guess.
Well, it's a beach episode.
Beach episode.
Specifically, yeah.
Well, okay, but like I think in the manga, it's also a hot spring episode.
Oh, really? Well, maybe it becomes that next episode as well. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm remembering the part of the manga that this is. Because I read it so long ago, but if I'm correct, the hot spring person is involved. I don't know. Anyway, right now it's a beach episode. You see a memory from Yuki of like him getting tortured, basically, by Akito, and basically saying like, "Don't think you'll ever be saved." There's a scene where Haru is hanging out with Yuki, and it fucked with me because I'm like, right now, your girlfriend is fucking Shigure. And it was so awkward. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Toru drops her book at one point, and Kisa's brother, I always have trouble remembering. It's Hiro.
Yeah, Hiro. The sheep.
Basically talks a lot of shit to her when he gives her the book back about her having like a mom complex and why doesn't she talk about her dad a lot? Only she's obsessed with her mom. And
I appreciated this actually because like this is a question I've had. Like, why don't you ever talk about your dad? Like, what is the deal with your dad? Yeah.
Well, she probably, I don't know. I mean, doesn't seem like he's been around.
Yeah.
Hiro's sister, like Kisa basically tells him that's cruel. She gets upset and asks if he, only came on the trip to trouble her, basically. And he's really upset by this because he actually really loves his sister, and that's why he came.
Sister complex.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, he's yelling at her for having a mom complex. He's the fucking biggest sister complex ever. And
I don't know. We did drunk watch that one show.
That's true. That one was a little worse. But yeah, Kisa and Toru are close, and Hiro gets jealous of that, basically, and then takes it out on Toru. And I think he realizes that that's what's going on. Mm-hmm. And later, Kisa comes by and apologizes, and Hiro apologizes to Kisa as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later in the episode, you see Akito is sick, or maybe just hot in the summer. He
just seems to be annoyed because it's hot outside, and he's not
he's
feeling
like,
great.
"Oh, I'm sick."
He was also by the sea, so if he got a little water on him, he probably got sick.
Yeah, it's true. Like some spray in the air, probably it was enough. And he asked for Hattori, who is busy, and he says that Hattori lives for him. And so it doesn't matter if he's busy. And I was like, fuck. And Shigure is like, hey, you should go to the summer house and teach them a lesson. And I'm just like, what the fuck, Shigure? Like, what is your angle here?
Yeah.
Like,
just soap opera drama. Who cares?
It's the thing, like I don't understand the dynamics between these characters. Like, it's so mysterious that I'm just like, what is happening? Like, what are you talking about even?
So either he genuinely because he has a lot of rants where he talks about how he doesn't really care about Toru. He just wants to use her to accomplish the healing of the family. So part of me wonders, like, if he feels like Akito will benefit from Toru, but he doesn't know any other way to get Akito to go near her. But yeah, that's just my guess.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yep. Well, you know what show was not interesting at all?
It was extremely interesting. Princess Connect Redive.
We got four, at least, actually more. I added 4 waifus to the chart, and there were more than 4 waifus added this episode.
Yeah, this is based off a game, so they basically have an endless supply of waifus, and I don't think they're letting up anytime soon.
True.
Honestly, with the weird shadow people, I was just like, I don't understand, and I just gave up.
I also felt the same way about the weird shadow shit. I was like,
you mean you didn't laugh when Lima got her bangs complimented and she spit again? I laughed.
Well, when you put it like that.
Okay, so right off the way, this thing is being hilarious. And right off the heels of the last episode, Carol comes bursting through the door with like this happy, goofy grin on her face and feeling exactly 30% better. Strangely, though, she's like, I'm going to bed. And then just goes to bed and she wakes up the next day. And she's like, I don't remember how I got home. What the fuck happened? And then like she has some like PTSD from the clinic. So that's fucking hilarious, too. Because they're like, talk about it. Oh, then that cat laughs. What the fuck? You just, God damn it. Pecorine has. Oh, she's like, this show, it was not interesting. And within the first 30 seconds, like, she's already laughing from it. So,
there are funny things about it. It's just not that funny. Like, when I'm watching it, I'm not interested in it.
Oh, that's your loss. So
I'm sorry.
Pecorine has found a new quest for them to go to Targum Village and help harvest spices. They'll also get their own spice set and the usual pay, so that's 2 birds with 1 stone. And then like Carol doesn't want to go at first until like Bakarina makes like the teary-eyed doe eyes at her, and she's like, "Fine,
if it'll make you happy, man."
I mean, that's what she is. That's her dare. Then just a quick random scene with like a guy's like shadow clone taking the guy and like disappearing. So
yeah, they're introducing this shadow stuff throughout the episode.
You're supposed to have like a problem or a dilemma in the middle of a story to make it interesting. So
true.
I mean, and they're adventurers, so like this is not surprising. Something like this is going to pop up at some point. There's going to be more than just wolves that grab Yuki and run off. Okay.
Also, this is like. We're 6 episodes in. This is like their first like real adventure as a guild. It's kind of funny that it took this long.
So they stop for the night, and Carol tries her hand at like fishing, and she just fucking sucks, which is kind of funny because she's a cat. She's supposed to be decent at it. And Kokoro's like, "It's okay because I found some of these bugs over here that look really good." She's like, "No, fuck no." And then she's like, "Oh, okay, if I won't use bugs, but Yuki caught all these frogs, and he has like an armload of frogs." And she's like, "Fuck, not frogs either. God damn it."
She's like, "I'm gonna make to catch something much more tasty. We won't have to use those things." And then she doesn't actually catch.
She
anything.
catches like 2 tadpoles or something.
Yeah, they're like flopping up and down. Really, I liked that a lot.
So, but Bakarina comes to the rescue. She shows up with this big fat bird she managed to catch, and like some berries she also picked, which turns out to be a little fermented. And we find out Carol is a fucking lightweight.
Yeah.
She like eats like 2 and gets like drunk and throws herself at like Kokoro. She's like, "You're too young to be so serious." And then she like starts crying about letting somebody down. So she starts crying into Bakarina's boobs, and she's like, "They're there." And then Bakarina starts singing, and Yuki's like clapping to it, and Kokoro's like, "What the fuck is wrong with all of you?"
Yuki is down to dance at any point in time. Seems like.
And then like the next day, Carol wakes up. She's got like a fucking hangover, and Kokoro's like, "Here, drink this." And she's like, "And then go wash your face over by the pond where Yuki is washing his face." And they turn and look, and there's just like this demon wolf, and he has Yuki in his jaws. And like, it's just this moment where everybody freezes, and then he just fucking sprints off. I'm fucking laughing my ass off. But as like the demon wolf's running away, like 3 arrows come flying out of the woods and hit him in the face, and he drops Yuki, flies into a tree, and then basically it's just like this extremely, extremely shy elf girl who saved him, and she's like got some issues, man. She's like using like a log to talk to him, and then she thinks Yuki's like a loner too, and then she gets like super happy when he wants to be a friend. She like literally has just like 5 minutes of just like this like rambling banter.
That is what you do when you get Kana Hanazawa to voice one of your characters, and you tell her, "Okay, this scene you're going to talk to a stump of wood for 5 minutes," and you just let her go because that's what she does best.
Yeah, as we've already said, and apparently we're going to keep saying, Cygames Pictures will just throw money at everything and everybody, including voice actresses.
Yes,
they don't give a fuck. So, but then she kind of gets bummed out when the other girls show up and realizes he's not actually a loner. But she knows the village they're going to, so she takes him to the village. They get to the village and they meet Misato, who's basically, she's the mayor. She's just running shit. It turns out they're shorthanded, and that's why they needed the help. There's also another girl who's supposed to help them arriving that day, and that's Elizabeth Park. And that's the guild with Lima, Kat's favorite character.
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course.
The fluffiest.
I hate her. I fucking hate her, and I wish that she would stop being the fact that she's a llama in underwear, basically alone, is weird and creepy.
It's like underwear armor. It's like Xena the Warrior Princess armor, man. I mean, come on. So they do run into another girl in town who's like sleeping and like floating through the air. She like runs into a bell and falls to the ground. They eventually wake her up, and her name's Hatsune, but her sister is also in Elizabeth Park, and her name is Shioren. And she is apparently also recovering from an illness. She must have gotten wet also. Hard telling. And then we go to Elizabeth Park, which is Lima, Shioren, a lolly cowgirl named Marin, and a chipmunk girl named Rin.
God damn it. So dumb.
I love it so much. Really long story short, they get attacked by the shadow clone things. And they're doing like a good job of holding them off until like they get hit with this giant blast, which is the blonde lady girl who we don't know who the fuck she is, that Carol ran into for literally 20 seconds that one episode.
Well, I think she says her name is Christina this episode, but we don't know who she is besides that. Besides,
she does say
she's evil of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, but Shiren, the other girl's sister, gets blasted into a rock, and like her shadow clone gets on top of her, and then like when she touches her, they just like, it's kind of unclear, but it's like they teleported away.
So yeah, I'm curious, what is the deal with this shadow stuff? Like, is it going to be like a good enemy, or is it just going to be really dumb? If it is really dumb, will it be funny? So yeah, I don't know. But I was kind of like, is this show trying to get serious now? I'm confused. I don't think it is, but yeah.
Well, we've known for a while that Yuki's somehow important because he's tied to that goddess figure, and then episode or two ago we find out that, like, the girls that he's met with, the three main girls, Kokoro, Carol, and Bakarina, that they also play an important role. So, like, to me at this point, this is just like, it's like how Konosuba can just be ridiculous, but then somehow you find yourself in like a semi-serious situation where you like had to defeat like the
demon lord or
the slime boss that turned out to actually be super strong when they're supposed to be super weak. Like, I feel this show doing basically that same formula for the most part.
Yeah.
But who was it that Mother's Basement, they did a kind of breakdown between this show and Konosuba, and basically he just said, this is like Konosuba, but they've kind of slowed things down, and I think he kind of nailed that.
Yeah,
and I think that's
really
what this show is, and that's kind of what I'm expecting, and that's what I've been getting so far. So that's why I'm like 105% on board with this show. So.
I don't know. I guess I enjoy goof off shows, but I like shows like that. Kind of like Kaguya-sama more, because it's got goof off stuff in it, but it's not so over the top. A lot of times I have a hard time taking Princess Connect in any way seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least with Kaguya-sama, like I can kind of take it seriously sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially a little more grounded.
Especially this episode. This episode was pretty had some serious election stuff going on. If we want to talk about it.
I want to find a Lima plushie and send it to Kat. No, I want to personally.
Oh God!
Personally,
I'll give it to my dog. How about that? I'll let her destroy it.
Yeah,
It'll
destroy
be great.
it.
Oh gosh!
All right, so moving on to Kaguya-sama, episode 6. So he pulls the other like former student council members aside at the beginning of this episode, and basically says that like while he's confident that they're going to win the election, he wants them to make it a landslide victory over Miko. He doesn't say why yet.
Just a landslide, but he wants to utterly like just crush her.
Yeah, to like leave no doubt, basically, that we destroyed her. And so meanwhile, Miko is like trying to calm her nerves, and she's drawing the character for person on her palm and then swallowing it, which is something I've seen in like other anime before.
Yeah, I've seen this a couple times too.
And her friend Osaragi tries it, but like she starts thinking too much about it. Like, wait, what if this was a real person? What if they have a family? Oh my God, I'm gonna name it. Their name is Yusaku, and she's just like defeating the whole point of trying to calm down. And so Osaragi is the first one to speak. She gives a very passionate practice speech for Miko's side. But Yu looks at the crowd and notices like less than half of the students are even listening. Like several of the guys are just like their heads are bobbing back in the audience. Cause like, I don't know if you remember in high school, but whenever you had like a dark, like auditorium thing, like I would use that to fall asleep like 100%. Cause it would usually be during the summertime. It would be cold and you're sitting there in the dark and there's some presentation going on and you're just like, nah, I'm going to fucking sleep now. That was 100% what I did. So then it's Kaguya's turn. She gets up and several people like whisper excitedly that she's up, but like not everyone. So when she gets up to the microphone, she like, I don't know if that tap came through. She taps on it to unleash some like loud feedback, which wakes the rest of the sleepy like dudes up, which is like a boss move. Yep. She explains how important it is to entrust like the money that the student council gets from like contributions to like somebody who has experience with doing this, like Shirogane. She has like a whole graph to point out all the achievements they've made. And then Hayasaka, who's in the audience, is like, yeah, they do get results. Like, she's saying that out loud to people around her. And there's like this anti-Shirogane guy who's like about to speak up and be like, he's only been here since like high school. And Chika like was like expecting this and leads a teacher over to him to like tell him to shut up. And she like shushes him herself. Like, this is all like a coordinated thing to keep like any like anti-Shirogane stuff down, which is really funny. And so
they basically crush any resistance.
Yeah, they hit it all from like all angles, like Kaguya's speech, like the controlling the dissent in the crowd, all this stuff.
There's also the little scene where like Miko comes walking in and she sees like Shirogane and Kaguya and like Chika, and they're all walk by, and it's like super epic looking.
Oh yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
No, that was pretty cool as well. Like, just like, oh man, these are like the real ones at the school. Like, I'm just a fake. Oh no. Kaguya presents a video about like how they're going to let the students decide the destination of their school trip by like a survey, and like there's like girls in the crowd like, I want to go to Bali. And there's like a festival they're going to have called like the Devoted Hearts Festival, which will encourage like relationships between students, obviously, which is obviously something Miko is against. And they're going to bring back this like cute guy teacher from last year, all this stuff. And Miyuki's sitting there like with you, like, oh, they're eating this up. And he's like, yeah, this is just like your accomplishments, man. And we're just approximating what you'll do. And he's just like, yeah, I want to beat Miko in a landslide. And like, that's why I put so much effort into this. And the crowd like is thunderously applauding when Kaguya finishes her speech. And so now it's Miko's chance. And she gets up on stage and she's so fucking nervous that like the crowd can barely hear her speak in the microphone. They're like, speak louder. We can't hear you, you idiot. And so I like how the camera pulls out behind her on the stage to show how like wide the stage is and how small she has become on the stage, or how she feels. I can definitely identify with that. Yu explains that like this happens in every one of Miko's elections. Apparently, she's always shy in front of crowds. So, like, because of the strict way she deals with people in normal life, like when she gets up on the stage and she fucks up, like people always laugh at her because like there's a lot of people who resent her and will obviously take this opportunity to make fun of her when she's like fucking up in a public forum. And
yeah, I really liked Miyuki here because he totally could have taken advantage of that and he didn't.
Yeah, and I think the reason is he like understands like Yu's feelings about it. He's like, I resent this girl myself, but also I hate seeing people laugh at somebody who is like trying their hardest and is just like not making it. And he's like, okay, I get it. And so we also get this flashback of Miko and Osuragi when they were younger. And so Miko's mom, we know from before that her parents are super busy. Like her mom's like administering vaccines or something, and her dad's at the courthouse. And so like she's always home alone, it seems like. And she resents the world because of that. 'Cause she's like, if people only followed the damn rules, then my parents would like have time for me, you know? And Osuragi explains how throughout Miko's school life, like she always was just trying to do the right thing, but she forced that view on everybody else around her. She tried to, and that what she felt was right to other people was like taking away their freedom, like taking all the fun out of their school life. And so she obviously ended up getting bullied, and she would end up like going off somewhere alone and crying about it. And so it's been like a real source of trauma for her. And so Miko's about to give up because she like can't talk to this crowd. And that's when Miyuki steps in and sort of like yells at her on stage a little bit, basically saying like, you know, you have some ridiculous campaign ideas like shaving guys' heads. What's the point of that? And by like looking at him and focusing on him, like, and he gives her a look of sort of encouragement, she's able to go off on a rant and like say what she wants to say, which is actually like a pretty decent argument about how the academy.
I don't know if I'd say it's a rant, but it's more of like they get into a debate, really.
Well, they do get into a debate, but she rants about like how the academy is losing its moral compass, basically.
I guess she has a point with that, but I don't think that because she has a point there means she's right
win.
that they all need to shave their heads.
No, and I like that Miyuki says, like, it's still not a valid point, even when she's like, well, boys they're less tardy for school because they don't have to take care of their hair. And it's like, and Miyuki's like, that's not a good reason to make people shave their heads. Like, they could just come to school on time some other way.
That just sounds like really communist. Everything Miko says sounds like communist to me.
Well, yeah, because the inevitable end of that logic is like, oh, then girls should shave their heads too, right? Because like then they'd have way less time in the morning, like getting ready for school. So it's not a good argument. But yeah, I really liked this debate between them. I also liked how Miko breaks down at one point. Is basically like, I think shaved heads are cool and they make my heart beat really fast. And Miyuki's like, I don't care about your fetish. What the fuck? And so in the end, Miko does lose again. But like she gained the respect of like her students by like standing up and not being scared of the crowd for once. Like one of the girls who congratulates her is like, we have hashtag rubbing shaved head trending on Instagram. Oh my god. And Osaraki's like really happy to see that Miko got some positive like attention for all this. But meanwhile, Miyuki only won by 40 votes. Like it was quite close. It was not the landslide it was supposed to be. And this does like quite the number on Kaguya.
That scares me because that means close to half of the fucking people want all guys that have shaved heads.
I know. I didn't understand this at all, and I could totally see how Kaguya is like freaking out because she did all this work behind the scenes, to make sure he won, and like talks about how she pretty much rigged the election, and then he almost ruined it. By basically allowing her to
was it like everybody
speak.
under the election committee, like under her thumb or something?
And they're
like
all
that?
my puppets.
Yes. And so, like, if she hadn't done all of that, then surely he would have lost if it was that close.
It's possible, for sure. Like, yeah, she definitely, like, she got some clubs to vote for him, all this stuff, and so she has like a nervous breakdown. She goes to Hayasaka and like cries, but then Chika comes looking for her, and it's funny because Hayasaka has to like push her down on the ground and run away immediately so she doesn't blow her disguise. And so meanwhile, Miyuki decides to invite Miko and Osaragi to join the student council because he like respects them. But Osaragi turns it down. Like her whole thing was that she was just interested in supporting her friend. So she has no interest in the student council, but I like the way Miko treated this. It's almost like he's confessing to her. She's like, no one's ever asked me to join the student council before. Ooh, I'll need some time to think about this. And so, yeah, she's blushing like crazy the whole time. You and Chika are a little nervous that Miyuki won't choose them again for secretary and treasurer. Like, they're like hanging around as he's talking to the others. And he's like, don't worry, secretary and treasurer. Our first job is to put away the chairs in the gym. So they're excited. So yeah, Kaguya, meanwhile, is throwing one of her tantrums in the nurse's office with Hayasaka sitting there. And she's just like, I can't believe he didn't come check on me once he heard that I fainted. And like, I just fucking love Hayasaka during this scene because she has her phone out. She has this app that checks on like Kaguya's mental state, first of all. And like, it's just deteriorating as she's like complaining about what Kat was saying, like all the work she did behind the scenes. But then there's this point where Hayasaka is just like watching Kaguya just like do her stupid childish rant, and she starts doing like the pinching to zoom gesture with her fingers, and, so, and the video, like the aspect ratio of Kaguya is just like zooming in and out, and so is her voice volumes. Like, oh, I can't believe that I'm going to. It's just so fucking funny. I was dying. It was like one of the best visual gags the show has ever done. I love all the stuff they do with Hayasaka is always so good, but this was like one of the best for me.
It was pretty good, I will say.
And so this is all because Kaguya feels that if Miyuki would help Miko, then like Kaguya's never like that special to him, I guess. Like he helps everybody, then maybe she's not special. And Hayasaka's like, well, maybe you should tell Miyuki all of this. And she like leaves out the window because Miyuki shows up. And Kaguya like hides under the covers. And Miyuki like senses that Kaguya's mad at him because he took care of like student council stuff before coming to see her. And it's like, I I only had the courage to help Miko because of your support and the support of my friends. And I need you to be the vice president again. I need you. And Kaguya is like so excited that she just makes an OK symbol with her hands from under the covers. And he like runs out of the room like, yeah, I did it. And so, yeah, in the end, they get back to work in the student council room. And also Miko shows up to accept her new position, which I guess is going to be like as like a financial auditor or something. It's just like a temporary position, it seems like. But yeah, secondary treasurer is basically what I would call her at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun episode. I liked. It just reminded me of my friend like ran for student council president in high school, and I just remember all of the fucking drama around that.
Oh God,
it was so ridiculous, Leo. Holy shit, you would. Oh my God, just like behind the scenes backdoor deals, trying to like go to different cliques of people to get them to vote for you in advance. Oh my God, it was so insane. And it was funny because my friend probably had it in the bag because his older brother was a really popular student like a few years before him, and he had been the student council president. So, yeah.
Oh, well.
But still.
You know, politics is always rigged. That's how that goes.
Indeed. So that definitely helped. But, yeah, so I was remembering back to all that stuff when this was happening, which was fun.
I don't think I ever voted. I don't even think I knew if I could vote. I don't know how that was decided in my high school.
Oh yeah, they had a whole election at my school, like every year for the new student council.
I just remember my student council president was a big pothead.
Nice.
He got A's, but he was a pothead.
Well, you know, sometimes that's how that goes.
For sure.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, while you guys were discussing this show, I looked more into Kana Hanazawa, the girl who was doing the elf and talking with the log in Princess Connect.
Yeah.
Guess who else she is voicing this season?
Oh, Elena from Gleipnir, right?
No. Shinako from Yesterday.
Wait, she's Shinako too? Holy shit.
Wow.
Wait, is she from... Wait, did I accidentally skip over Gleipnir?
She's definitely in Gleipnir too, because we pointed that out in a previous episode.
So she's fucking busy, basically.
I mean, she has one of the best voice actors there is.
2 mains and a support this season?
That's a lot. At least.
I'm sure her schedule is really busy.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with all those recordings.
She's Erina from Gleipnir.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
2 supports
Elena,
and 1 main.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but like when I saw she was Shinako, I was like, no fucking way. Come on.
That's a much more reserved part from her. She does that sometimes, though. But I think she's having more fun probably with the other parts.
Yeah, probably.
If I had to guess.
Yep. So now on to our last show of the day, BNA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's called Fox Waltz. So at the beginning of the episode, you have these scenes where they explain about... I guess their religion, like the Beastman religion, which is that there's this guy named Ginro that is watching over them. Sort of, and I put like, sort of like Wolf Jesus, I guess.
Yep.
So, and obviously this is a plot graft, and there's another plot graft later because she's talking to Okami and she's talking about how she's always been attracted to idol type people. She's talking about in reference to her new friendship with Nina.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells, Okami that she's just how she always has been. And there's this flashback of her with this friend named Nazuna,
which we've seen like once or twice, just like in flashbacks.
Yeah, who wanted to be an idol. And I felt like this was also a huge plot graft. I feel like they just put these 2 pieces in the beginning just to like, and now we can justify the rest of the episode. And I hate it when stuff is that obvious.
Yeah, I guess so. It is pretty obvious how things are going to play out from this first scene with her friend.
I have also complained that like they've been teasing over this Nazuna and then just do something else totally different. I'm like, fucking just, who is she? What is this? So like them doing this was like, I was glad. I was like, thank you. We're finally going to talk about this fucking character they keep teasing and then just say nothing about.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wasn't bothered by it.
I just felt like it's a little obvious, but I didn't mind the plot itself. Just a little bit on the nose. There's this weird side plot of that mink girl selling water filters and Jackie falling for it and like signing up for this finance plan for like a lifetime of payments.
Yeah.
And like being in debt, and I guess they like tie him up and they're gonna burn him alive. And it's all so like dramatic and overdone, and I'm just like, come on.
Well, except
Like-
like, when he's being roasted alive, he yells out, "My meat smells delicious."
I was going to say, but even so, he thinks he smells good when he's burning it.
Yeah, and suddenly this weird cult-looking group comes in on like boats and confronts these money thugs who were about to burn Jackie. And this like one girl comes forward and they're like, "Oh, she's the princess," and like turns into this giant mystical wolf. And it's like, oh, everyone freaks out because they're like, it's Kinro, oh my god. And later, Michiru finds out that this princess is her old friend Nazuna. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, so here's the plot, the plot insert they put in. And they go off together, and Michiru is like interested in what's going on with her friend. And Nazuna is like, why are you saying you're a raccoon? You're obviously a Tanaki. And they both laugh a lot at this. And she says she's actually a kitsune, and that's why she can change form. Into something that looks like Ginro.
The really interesting thing between her and Michiru is that they're both mystical Japanese creatures that both have the abilities to transform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I'm wondering if the disease or whatever can only transform people into mystical beings.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
It's interesting. I don't know. But basically, she's like, "Hey, don't tell anyone that I'm actually a kitsune. Like, it would be bad." What is that anime with the Tanaki?
Tanuki?
The eccentric family?
Yes. Yeah. When they said she's a Tanaki, it just reminded me of that. And I was like, "Oh, that show."
What's a Tanaki?
I can say Tanaki if I want. I can be a stupid American.
You can, but you're not correct.
Well, it's interesting because, like, often in Japanese, they don't emphasize the second syllable. So, like, Tanuki would be the thing you would think they would pronounce it as, but that usually in anime, when I hear it pronounced, they say Tanuki or Tanuki. But I don't know. Maybe I have to listen to that next time. But like, yeah, I always hear everybody say Tanuki, but like in most Japanese words, it would be Tanuki.
What's the Ghibli film with the Tanuki with the nut sacks?
Oh, I loved that. That was one of my favorite ones. Ugh.
Wait,
you like it because there's lots of nut sacks in it.
No, it's because they change into all kinds of weird shit. They fly with
their nut sacks, dude. They like spread it out.
I don't even remember that. Wait. I just remember them fucking with the villagers.
I'm questioning myself now.
I forget which movie this is.
I don't think they flew with nut
which
sacks.
film is
I don't know
that one?
where that came from.
It's not Totoro, is it? No.
I'm trying to. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
I am too.
I don't know why I don't know this.
Pompoko.
Is it Okay,
yes,
yeah. It just came to me as you were saying it.
I don't remember anything about nutsacks. I just remember them scaring the shit out of those villagers, and I loved every minute of it.
I haven't seen Pompoko. That's why I didn't know it.
I found a video that says "flying with your balls," and it's them parachuting through the sky with their nutsacks.
You know that's now the title of this episode. It's flying with your balls.
Okay, yeah, I'm making a note. Don't worry about it. Got
there
it
you
covered.
go. I put it in chat.
Fantastic.
Oh my god. I actually, when I watched that, like when I watched that movie, I was in love with Pompoko for a while. Like, I loved that show. You should definitely watch it, Bcom.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I think I have it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're totally flying with their nutsacks.
Anyway, so they say that this cult, they claim they're in search of beastmen freedom, and they pilgrimage through different cities. There's like a conversation between the mayor and Okami about it. And they're obviously concerned about this cult that's come to the city. And Michiru and Nazuna are talking about like, well, what happened to you? Because apparently she just was kidnapped off the street one day. And she says that she was taken to a weird research facility, and Boris helped to get her out. And so she joined this culty thing because she wanted like safety, and they helped get her out and everything.
Aren't all religions a cult?
I mean, yes. If you ask me, they're just like light cults, cult light.
Coors Light.
with less
Yes.
Kool-Aid.
Exactly. So,
Which actually wasn't Kool-Aid. I think it was actually Tang or something else. Fuck, I can't remember now. Go ahead.
I don't
I've
know.
been listening to too much of the Behind the Bastards podcast. They talk about this
man.
shit.
That show is so good.
Yeah,
you
this
just
was-
listen. Oh,
I was listening to the episode where they talk about the Bleach Church.
oh yes, and it's
And that's
so
where
sad.
that came up about Kool-Aid, or was it Tang or something like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's just like, oh yes, this person who's ruined millions of people's lives or thousands of people's lives. And
Yeah, Bcom, did you know you're supposed to drink bleach to get the worms out of your body? Which is actually, when you shit it out, it's just your intestines eroding away.
Fantastic.
yeah, you're just
That
basically
sounds-
destroying your internal, digestive organs.
Also,
And then-
bleach enemas. Yes, do those.
Don't do those.
Those are supposed to help cure autism.
Yeah, there's a lot of moms who feed their
you-
children bleach, and they give their children bleach enemas because of this crazy fucking lady
Oh my
who's been
God.
telling all these people that if they give their autistic children bleach, that it'll cure them.
for BNA.
I know.
shit.
And so this is going on, and it continues to go on. And people will post in these Facebook groups, my child stopped eating like 3 days ago. What should I do? And they're like, continue the bleach enemas. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's pretty sad.
Jesus Christ.
I guess that's our plug for Behind the Master.
There you go.
Oh,
Great show.
man.
Great show. I love that
It
podcast.
really is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Michiru keeps pressuring Nazuna about Boris, and she's like, he's kind of weird and shady. And Nazuna's like, he's not, like, but he won't take his mask off ever. And I'm just like, how are you close with someone who will never take their mask
we
off?
we see him blink, but he blinks sideways like a lizard.
like a lizard or a
Yes.
reptile, yeah.
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 That's how you know
So
he's
basically,
weird.
Yeah, you find out she pretty much has the same disease. So that kind of gives you a clue. Maybe it's environmental or something, how she got this.
I don't know.
Because they both were close to each other a lot because they're friends and they lived nearby.
Wait, but doesn't she
It's
say in this
interesting.
episode that she was brought to like the research facility?
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
after she started changing into
Oh,
a kitsune.
Huh. Yeah. Also, there was
So
that
I guess
thing
they
about
found out about it.
There's that thing about like I don't know if this was ever mentioned in the series before, but like apparently Michiru and Nazuna were both in an accident together, like sometime in the past.
That was just like their bonding thing.
Oh, well, but that might be what caused it.
Yeah.
You have a point because, like, obviously not everyone in their neighborhood is turning
could've
into
possibly,
Beast Man.
when they went in for treatment, was when they got, let's say, injected with whatever this is that turned them.
That's a good theory for sure. Yeah. Or something about the accident. Like, yeah, who knows? But I'm curious. That made me curious because that seemed like something to answer because they didn't really say what the accident was, just that they were in one. And so I was like, okay, what's that about?
Actually, it's the same universe as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the ooze that turned them into the animals.
They grew up in the
Nice,
sewers
nice.
with a big rat.
Yes. They give you a lot of hints in this show that are very vague, and then they'll bring it up later.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of watch for those threads. You're right. But I don't know. So she takes Nazuna home to stay for the night. And Okami doesn't let her stay because that cult is weird and shady. And he's like, listen, you don't need to be involved with these people. And she angrily goes after her friend and basically asks to join the cult because she's like, I need to know what's going on. I want to see I want to try to help my friend. She kind of sees her friend as like being trapped by this group. But really her friend is like in on it. Like she wants to be in this group.
Yeah.
She's like conniving.
But she's doing it in a way that I feel like she's intentionally pushing Michiru away. Like we see this in anime all the time. Like this isn't actually 100% what she thinks, but she's just pushing Michiru away for whatever ulterior motive she has.
I guess.
Right?
I don't know.
That's what I'm getting from this.
I just got that like she personally wants to be viewed as an idol. And
Yeah,
she's
and
taking
this
advantage of
fulfills
this.
her.
Yeah.
This fulfills what
I
she
believe
wants,
she
and
does,
so she doesn't care.
but she's going over the top from what she is committed to this.
Well, I mean, I think it's in reaction to like Michiru assuming that like Nazuna wants out of this situation. Like, obviously she wants out when she's wrong about that. Like, Nazuna does not want out. She likes where she's at. She likes being worshipped by people.
Yeah, it's odd. And the exchange she has with Boris in her dressing room or wherever, where she's like, yeah, they're still not letting us see the mayor. And then he's like, be beautiful, more beautiful than a god. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a little creepy.
It's odd. So, and then there's like a snapshot shot where he's like, yeah, she's been in this cult a month, go visit her. And she's been there a fucking month? Like that barely registered as like a moment of her joining the cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's odd. An odd choice, if you ask me. So she goes to visit her in the cult tent where all the followers live. And they talk a little bit, and sort of Michiru tries to get Nazuna to run away because she thinks Boris is weird still. And she's kind of like, you've never understood. Like, this is my place now. I'm leaving with my cult because the mayor won't see me. And Michiru's like, oh no, I'll help you see the mayor. I know the mayor. We're going to go meet her at this place. And during this conversation, she asked Michiru if she's stupid. And I really think it's like, she's not sure if she's really this easily manipulated or what's going on at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think it is what she said later, where I don't think Michiru is that dumb. I just think this serves Michiru's ideas about her friend and about what's going on, and so she willingly believes it.
Right.
It's interesting. Anyway, so she brings her friend Nazuna to meet the mayor. She requests permanent residency for her cult. And basically the mayor's like, no, because you're deceiving people. Like, you're telling people you're Ginro and you're not. But Nazuna points out that Ginro isn't real and that power is needed to control this giant population, and that, religion is power, which is very true. And the mayor agrees to help her.
Yeah,
so
the mayor's
this
like,
works.
oh, you're a very impressive young lady. So, decides to let her in. Yeah.
And then Michiru basically later is like, you used me. And Nazuna is just like, I mean, you knew what was going on. Like, you can't point to me and say this is my fault, And really, this would have happened anyway. I just, used this convenient method of doing it.
I feel like the way that like Barbara, the mayor or whatever, like accepted her is just like another hint that like maybe she's a little bit evil too. Like, yeah.
She does kind of have the look of someone who might be evil. Well, you're right.
In our discords, haven't we been discussing how Big Pharma is evil?
The ultimate evil? God, yeah.
Like I said something about like, I was like, yeah, we had our riots here in Indianapolis, and like, I was like, yeah, and a bunch of shit got broken, but like, I was like, one of the CVS's got caught on fire, and then like you and a couple other people were like, fuck Big Pharma, fuck Big Pharma, and I'm like, god damn,
burn down all the CVS,
whatever.
Oh my god, fucking CVS bullshit.
Yeah. And then at the very end of the episode, she says that right now she isn't Nazuna, she's Death Rube, who is the cult leader. Her name is the cult leader. And Michiru says that she understands.
Oh, so it's not. Oh, sorry, it's not Death Rube. That might have been in the subs you were watching. The actual name it's French, so it's Déesse Louve, which in French means like a goddess she-wolf. So she's a she-wolf goddess, basically.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, well, I don't know. She came up with some rando name.
Yeah.
But Michiru also says like, I have no friend called Death Rube or whatever. Like, I only have Nazuna, and if you're not Nazuna, then you're not my friend. And so it's a big kind of split, and that's the end of the episode.
This is the big part where I feel like Nazuna is like, it's not that she's embracing her role, but she's like specifically for whatever reason we do not know yet, pushing her Michiru away.
Okay, I can see
that's where
at this point.
Really, really felt it.
I can see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Honestly, I felt like Michiru was pushing Nazuna away at the end, but it was very calculated by Nazuna.
I don't get that.
Well, because she literally told her like, "You're not my friend anymore."
Well, that's after Nazuna said what she said.
I'm just saying, like she's also pushing her away. You're right, but
they're breaking up.
They're breaking up. That's right.
Come on, two girls are the best. We know this.
Yeah, Mary said so.
All right, let's move on to some other shows we may have been watching.
Yeah. Shows we've been watching outside of the podcast, just in case we want to cut some stuff. I guess I'll kick it off. I'm actually going to talk about Arte first.
Okay.
So this is the show I actually caught up on like the earliest, I think. This show's very easy to watch, I feel like.
It is.
Right?
I love it too.
I enjoy it quite a bit because I like Arte as a main character a lot, and I like the setting of just like the Renaissance art world because I just find it interesting. I've always kind of found that interesting. So I think the places where the show sort of trips up, and this is definitely something like Leo also mentioned that he had listened to like the anime feminist podcast who had talked about this, and I listened to this after I had watched like 6 or 7 episodes of this, and I had come to the same conclusion that basically like every time Arte is confronted with like a problem where she has to prove herself to like the men in the world, like what she does is she lifts some heavy shit and then she gets their approval. Like it's like clockwork, and it's like, yeah, that's not very realistic though. Like that's not how real life works. Like, I mean, sometimes like you can prove that you're good enough to do the job and people will accept you, but like it seems like a very simplistic view of like how things would have gone back then. Like, oh, I'm going to lift some heavy bags of cement and therefore I'm immediately accepted by all of my peers who happen to be men. And there's just some funny stuff like I think in one of the later episodes, like Arte sees like the guys playing a game called Calcio, which is like a Renaissance Italy like ball game, kind of like rugby-ish. And she decides to like join in and play with them once like they've grown to respect her, and they're like, yeah, but we won't go easy on you, you girl. It's just like all of the like girl stuff and like girl power stuff in this anime is like so simplistic. Not that I don't enjoy it, it's like kind of fun, but it's just very simplistic, and I feel like that hurts the show overall. What do you think?
I can see that. I think it's supposed to be sort of a feel good, like feministy approach to this show, but I understand what you're saying. It wouldn't be that easy in real life. I also felt like the guy who she ends up going on this like trip with in order to teach his niece, in real life that would have been much more of a creepy relationship. I can't imagine that he wouldn't be like, and now I'm gonna hit on you.
Yeah, so
like,
I have not watched this one, but it sounds like it wants to do a feminist point of view, but then it just doesn't
want to
deliver.
Actually confront the
it doesn't actually deliver on it.
Issues. Yeah. Well, and I understand like some of those things are really difficult to cover, and there's a lot of facets, and they'd have to go into a lot of depth, and like they just don't want to.
They just don't really want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, they want it to keep some of its feel goodness as a show, and I get that, but you're right, it is simplistic.
Yeah, speaking of that like guy, like there is a moment in the show where it could have gone really creepy where she falls off of a ship that she's taking to get to Venice, and goes overboard, and she wakes up in her bed and her clothes have been changed. And so this guy like stripped her naked and put new clothes, dry clothes on her. And he's basically like, don't worry, I'm not interested in young girls like you. And so which kind of like, that made the situation a bit better, but like also that could have been really creepy at that moment. But yeah, it decides not to be creepy, I guess. It was one thing in the favor of the show. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep watching it. I just don't know if I would replace. I just don't know if I would replace anything that we're currently watching with it.
I think it's unique in that the art style is so beautiful, and it's a different setting than you ever see an anime in, and I like the show as a whole. I definitely think it's better than a lot of stuff.
I think a lot of the big appeal was the time setting where it's at.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. So,
like as pretty as it is, I think it could be prettier. Like they do a pretty good job of showing Venice and Florence. Like Piazza San Marco and Venice looked pretty cool, but like they didn't give you like a big wide angle view of the entire like plaza. They just showed like a couple key shots of it, and I was like, oh man, it would be so cool if they just did like a whole like fucking beautiful artistic representation of what it looked like at that time. But it's an anime. They don't always have time to do stuff like that. That's a lot to ask. But
yeah.
So. All right. Another show that I know at least Bcom and I are watching is Tower of God. Kat, have you watched any of this?
I'm watching it. I think I'm at episode 6 or 7.
Okay, so
but
you're
I'm
caught
not
up too.
super.
Yeah,
I'm not like
I'm at
up
6.
to date.
Yeah.
But there are parts of the show that don't interest me very much. Sometimes during the fights, my eyes glaze over a little bit. But
I
some
can
of the
easily
other stuff
picture
is
that.
interesting. Yeah, like I'm still watching it, so I'm still interested.
Yeah, I found that like whole Crown Game like 2-episode arc to just be kind of boring. Like I wasn't interested in the game. I wasn't really interested in like Bam's sword that he had, like he lost to like the lizard girl. And then when fucking he jumps on top of Rachel to like protect her and then turns into like pure energy, like which saves him and her. I was like, what is going on? What is this?
Okay, so I've already said this, but this is the webtoons version of shonen.
Yeah, oh,
So
absolutely.
There'll
Yeah.
be it's good, it's bad, it's in between. This seems to be kind of in the in between at the moment. Yeah, so just kind of when you watch some more webtoons, like the God of High School comes up next season, get used to this.
Yeah,
This is,
it just seemed like a big power jump.
similar formula.
Which, and like, I hate huge power jumps in shonen. Also, like, he seems to be like the chosen one, essentially, because like,
yeah, but this is a power he can't control yet.
okay, I guess that's
So-
fair, but
Yeah, so like that was like involuntary. He doesn't know how to make it work again.
right.
Yada yada yada.
But then, then there's the whole thing with like Rachel, who's like, she goes to Kun, who's like, don't tell him about me, like pretend it was somebody else, because like if we were together, we would become each other's weaknesses, and we wouldn't reach the top of the tower. And I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, it's also weird that he is so concerned about. He's like, I just don't want it to be. I don't want him to end up like me. And I'm just like, do you have feelings for him?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, their relationship isn't quite explored at all yet so far. But
Right.
you know what? This has like 800 chapters.
Yeah. Right.
That is actually kind of typical for like this type of manual / webtoons.
I
But,
guess it's interesting in a unique way.
Leo, I think you said that the animation had sort of grown on you, and I kind of feel the same way. Like some of the fight animation looked pretty good in the past few episodes.
At first, I was like, it kind of felt janky or whatnot, but then I kind of later on realized I was like, no, that's just a unique take on like animating style or whatever. And then like I was fine with it. I feel like all the fights are so fucking short.
Yeah,
Like
they
I
are.
need like longer fights. Like you walk into a fight and just like one person just basically immediately dominates the entire situation and never at any point is like being backed off or anything like that. It's just like, oh no, this person's gonna win. The other guy can't do anything.
I also can't take it seriously when that guy who has like a blanket around him all the time starts fighting. Like when
the sleepy guy?
Yeah, sleepy dude. When he gets into a fight, I'm just like, what the fuck? This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, doesn't he like already have like complete control over what did they call the energy again?
Shit, I just watched it today too.
Like
Starts with an
wave or
S. I don't know. Shit, I can't remember. I'll look it up while we talk about other stuff.
yeah, it doesn't really matter. Have you guys been watching The Eighth Son? Are you kidding me?
I haven't. I started out thinking it was interesting, but
Shit. It's not.
what is it like?
It's my trash show. This is just a joke of a show. The action is super sad.
I love how earnestly you were like, it's not. It's terrible.
They at one point finally end up in a dungeon and have to fight like these CGI golems, and it is an absolute snooze fest.
Oh, by the way,
But-
the energy in Tower God is called Shinsu for anybody who cared.
Okay.
Oh boy.
What blew my mind one episode, which I think is the most insane scene, is the main character gets an arranged marriage with the Pope's granddaughter, who is 13.
Oh boy.
Granted,
Okay.
he's 14, and the legal age in this world is 15, so they are going to wait until they are both 15. So 2 more years, which will make him
I mean, that was something that was
16
fairly
and 15.
typical back then, so yeah.
Yeah, which
It's
is I
realistic
totally
in
agree.
a way.
Arranged marriages, we're talking back in time like they are. I was like, all right, that's actually a real thing. So whatever. The thing is, this child bride looks like she hit puberty at like 8. Let's just say 8. And then he has 2 other girls in his party. that are like fighting with him, but they don't want to be left out when they find out he has a waifu.
Oh.
And they decide that they will be his concubines.
No!
So they do like it's actually just really goofy stuff to try to be his concubines, and it doesn't work out because main character's a dunce. And then out of nowhere, the main character's just like, "Oh, so do you guys just want to be my concubines?" And they're like, "Fuck yeah!" And then he turns to his fucking child bride and he's like, "Hey, is it cool if they become my concubines?" And she's like, "That would be totes cool, darling."
That would be so
And I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? I'm
You're watching my 13-year-old child bride. Are you kidding me?
I am like, no, she is so on board with him having these two women in his party as his concubines. She's so enthusiastic about it. And it blew my mind. And I was like, I just got to keep watching the show. I was like, do they not understand what the term concubine means?
God.
Yeah, dude.
It's bizarre.
If you want some amusing trash, this is the show. Otherwise,
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I know certain people to recommend that to then.
Oh wow.
All right.
Okay, and then our final show, I think any of us are discussing.
I got two, but there is one that all three of us are discussing.
Oh, why don't you go to listeners first then, so we can finish with that.
I've been watching listeners. A lot of these characters are based off. They're the anime versions of like musicians. There's like Prince in there. He's done really good. But even before Prince, you get an earlier character that's based off Kurt Cobain, which is unfortunately died from a shotgun wound to the head.
Yeah.
This character is female, which is nothing new. They'll make a male, female. It's not a big deal. But the port where she plugs it into her body is in the side of her head.
Jesus.
And I'm just like, isn't that a little... And we already brought up Anime Feminist. They said the same thing. And I was just like, yes.
That too. Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I had the same reaction. Just like, that's a little too early, a little too on the nose, whatever.
That sounds like something I would have had a big problem with, similar to the first episode of like Bungo Stray Dogs and like making fun of
you're just
suicide.
Like, whoa. But then like what really bothers me is the main character Echo, who gives up so fucking easily. And the other people in the show, sometimes in almost a literal sense, have to pick him up, point him, and then push him in the right direction to just make the story keep going. And
that's not fun.
I don't like this character. I don't know who I'd recommend this anime to. Even for all its like subgenres, like there's so much better anime I can recommend.
Right.
That if you want to watch something that's sci-fi or mecha or whatever the fuck else the show is. So
well, it sounds like we dodged a bullet with that show then, because we were unsure about it early on. Yeah.
Listeners is an original. I'm sad to see it fail. They could have done something with this. It's not interesting. I am really not actually hearing much hype about it.
Yeah.
But the one show that all three of us are still watching, and I'm hearing a lot of extra hype about, is Kakushigoto. And what do you guys think about this one?
Well,
okay,
why don't you kick it
so
off, Kat?
like I was saying earlier, I think it's half really deep, interesting show and half trash. Sorry.
So which parts of the show do you find interesting? I think you said it a little bit earlier, but like make that clear again. Like,
okay, so like the parts where obviously she's an adult and she's thinking about her dad and what's going to happen that we don't know about in the future are really interesting. The parts where he's very seriously thinking how to raise his daughter and like his history of this family, like the debate between him and her grandfather is really interesting, sort of like the tension there because he never accepted him as, his daughter's husband, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit there. Yeah, he didn't even get to name his daughter. Yeah,
I was about to say, you find out like he didn't even get to name his daughter because he did it in like a public ceremony because he's a famous artist. And there's just a lot of tension there. So there's definitely some like very serious topics that this show covers, and it's interesting. But then there's this trash part of the show where it's just like, oh, we can't let her find out about my dirty job and like goof off stuff, which I just like, okay, it's a little bit of comic relief,
there was
but whatever.
A very funny scene where he gets excited during the signings and the wall comes down and his daughter's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, shit, she's going to find out who I am. But then like her teacher, I forget her name, like, pushes him out and she's like, oh, this is like the adults version of like the
career
thing
fair thing she's doing.
Yes. And knocks him out, but she doesn't recognize him anyways. But like that's like an awesome save. I thought that was like really interesting.
That's the thing, that was really good. Like, but the thing is, like, I'm with Kat in that like the jokes and like stuff about like the manga stuff, like sometimes they're really funny and sometimes they just are super boring and like I couldn't care less. And it's just it's very hit and miss for me. I think it hits slightly more than it misses, like I would say, but like, and so that's why I still like the show a lot. But like, I'm with Kat. Like when he is talking to Hime, at any point in the show, he's talking to Hime and like talking about like what's going on with her. I'm like riveted. I'm like so interested in that father-daughter relationship. I'm so interested whenever he's taking lessons that he learned from his stupid shit at work and applying them to like making Hime happy at home. And like
or even it goes the other way too, from learning stuff from being with Hime to applying to his work, because she has that perspective of like the tigers looking at them, and that's how she makes her drawing. And then he goes to work and they're like, shit, we don't have somebody that can do like this landscape correctly. And she's like, oh, he's like, do it from the perspective of the animals so that we don't have to fucking draw in these animals. We just see the characters the rest of the time. Like he goes both ways with it. I think one of the best things about this show is that like it's super happy. It's super positive. Just watching the two interact the whole time. And then right at the fucking end of the episode, it's like, oh yeah, let me remind you, both her parents are fucking dead
or gone or something. Like I don't know if we know for sure that he's dead. It definitely seems like he is.
Well, back to the tiger episode, he goes, I wonder if she is looking at us from the same perspective, like she's a spirit. And then let's just assume they are dead.
Okay.
So then we found out that after 17 years and older, her dad made the next boxes. So to premeditate to make these boxes ahead of time means that both her parents suffered from a disease, something such as like stage 4 cancer or any number of diseases, or something where the doctors, it's like you have 4 more months to live.
Right.
So they spend the last months of their lives making these boxes for their daughter, who they know they will be there for. And you're just fucking brought down and crashed from this whole positive episode, and it just destroys you in the last minute and a half.
Yeah, it's true. I every last like minute of every episode, I'm just totally riveted. I'm so into like what's happening and how she's like putting her like the history with her father in perspective, and like what she's trying to learn about like what really was this man to her, like what really was he, what did he care about. All that stuff. Like, oh, man, I really liked the episode where, like, they find out that she thinks that her, like, house is, like,
they live in a poorhouse.
Yeah, like, because it has one floor.
What's really funny about that is that, like, 2 episodes later, it does an overhead shot, and you're like, holy shit, that's actually a really big house.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, she just doesn't understand that, like, they also, like, rebuilt their old house, like, brick by brick. Closer to the middle of the city, basically. Like they're doing just fine. Like they're not poor at all. But like just because her friends are like, "Oh, you don't have a 2-story house," thinks she's poor. And then like there's so many interesting things like that. I don't know. Now that we're talking through the show sounds really fucking good, which it is.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Kat, it is a good show. I like it, but I like all the shows we're covering. I think the only one that I would debate switching is like Gleipnir or something, but I honestly think that Gleipnir could be the next Mirai Nikki.
It's not.
It was pretty popular.
It's tough to drop Gleipnir just because it had such a ridiculous fucking episode this week. But,
like I said last episode recorded, Catgirl is going to be popular, her shit, but then we're going to fall off.
I'm like tempted to trust Leo on that one and switch it out for Kakushigoto. But at the same time, I'm like, I really like Gleipnir.
It's hard. I almost have to say neutral because it's like I like both shows.
All right. So, Kat, I was able to talk to Bcom a little bit. We kind of thought about hoping you would drop Fruits basket for Kakushigoto.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay, sounds like you're not going to. But the thing is, we all
I also talked about dropping Princess Connect, by the way, for full disclosure.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah?
No,
Okay.
that's not happening. It's too good of a show.
Obviously, neither of these things are happening. Obviously, I'm not dropping Kaguya, so
But
it's not dropped.
The interesting thing is, all three of us individually did say that Gleipnir is a possibility. I am 100% for switching out with Kakushigoto. You two
I'm like 50-50
on the fence about this.
Because I could totally see Gleipnir going straight downhill. And I feel like Kakushigoto has been very good. Gleipnir is just really fun to talk about. And that's the thing that I'm like a little bit hesitant about. But Kakushigoto, like Leo was saying, Leo made a lot of good points about how that show, like how that relationship between that father and daughter is so interesting to look at because they both help each other in certain ways.
It is interesting. You're right that Gleipnir could crash and burn. I just am worried because it seems like it's a really popular show, and I could see 10 years from now people being like, yeah, Gleipnir. And we're like, oh, wish we'd kept covering it.
I could also see people a year from now going like, Gleipnir?
Yeah, who knows? It's hard to tell with shit like that, too.
Yeah. I could see it having like a really just unsatisfactory ending. I don't know. I think it's going to continue to do its hijinks. I don't know if it'll ever be as raunchy as this episode 6 was again, with just like this like almost sex between Clair and that girl, and like the little girl getting inside of Shuichi. Like, I don't know if it's ever going to be that crazy again. Maybe it will.
Oh, holy shit!
Oh, who knows?
I do.
I guess you do.
Leo's like, I fucking do.
That I actually didn't notice that, but that does drop off. You are right.
Oh, really? Yeah, see, I was wondering because like that seemed like a very high point, like a high water point for like raunchiness.
Yeah, and that's like I'm saying with the cat girl, this is the high point.
Yeah.
And once she has a little bit more to do with Shuichi, which will be likely, if not finished in the next episode, the episode after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
well, no matter what, I
sorry,
I didn't mean. I thought you would. No matter what, I think we're going to cover both shows in a way. I'm sure no matter what,
we'll definitely
will talk
about both shows at the end of the season. It's more of like, which one do we want to cover episode to episode?
Yeah, which one do we want to discuss week to week?
It's tough.
It's
a tough decision.
We got to cast our votes. I am for...
Oh, you have to make me pick?
Oh wow, it's a vote now.
It's mid-seasons. We have to vote. I am for Kakushigoto replacing Gleipnir.
Okay, what about you, Bcom?
Well, aren't I just like the deciding vote then? Like whichever one of us decides, like unless I'm fuck.
I think we decided early on it has to be all three of us for a show that's not a lock.
Fuck. I'm so torn. I'll say Kakushigoto.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'll still watch Gleipnir.
Yeah, I'm 100% going to watch Gleipnir.
I think I'll finish it just because I want to see how much it differs from the manga or what it does differently, if anything at all, which it hasn't at all. But so, all right, we're consensus. Gleipnir gets replaced by Kakushigoto.
Plus, Kat, we get to yell at Leo if Gleipnir is like really good. So,
oh well, that's a bonus.
That's always a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a good bonus.
All right, so we're swapping out. We're swapping in Kakushigoto starting from episode 7 next week.
So, if it is better, I hope to God it's because they strayed from the manga, and I can be they did this different. I'm sorry, guys. It's not on me.
All right.
Oh, is that everything?
Yeah, that's it for this week. Everybody stay safe out there. It's a dangerous time right now. And I think you should like listen to the people around you who are like grieving during this period, and be sensitive to the things that need to change. I just wanted to say that at the end of this podcast because I've been thinking about it. But yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I think we all have. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube to get updates on new podcasts or videos. You can also find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. And follow us on Twitter at Nerdom and Other for updates as well. Definitely come out to our Discord and hang with us. Kat's actually been talking this week.
I know.
Which is new and interesting and actually kind of worrisome that she got this board. Also, with that, we'll see everybody next time.
See you next time.
Yes. Bye.